You've been watching NLWN-TV's presentation of Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Talkin' Baseball, with a look back at today's game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball, with a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game, presented by Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and more. And now, back out to the ballpark. NLWN-TV now brings you the In the Dugout show. A look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. And now, join us in the dugout.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of In the Dugout. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studios, and we're getting ready to bring you Eau Claire Cavalier baseball as the 11-11 Cavaliers, who are 8-5 in the CRBL, take on the Eau Claire Bears, who are also 8-5 in the CRBL, from Cinder City Park in Altoona, Wisconsin. Now, coming up in this edition of In the Dugout, we'll take a look at today's game between the Cavs and the Bears. Then we'll get Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective on today's game in the Ryan Bemnister Show. Following that, we'll take a quick look around the Chippewa River Baseball League to see where things stand. And also, we'll take a moment to get to know one of this season's Cavalier players in Cavalier Profile. Finally, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of today's game from Cinder City Park in Altoona. So it's time to get ready for some baseball action, and we'll do just that coming up right after this brief timeout, as you're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time hero to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Very shortly, the Eau Claire Cavaliers will take on the Eau Claire Bears from Cinder City Park in Altoona. Now, the 11-11 Cavaliers, who are 8-5 in the South Division of the CRBL, are coming off a pair of losses to the La Crescent Cardinals, 10-9 and 9-2 back on Sunday in non-league games. Now, in those games, the Cavaliers were led at the plate by Jack Redwine, who went 4 for 5 on the day, including a double. And the pitch. Soft liner out into right field, and Redwine is gonna cruise on into second base. Gabe O'Brien also had a strong showing at the plate, going 3 for 7 on the day, with a run scored on Luke Erickson's RBI single in the second game. Erickson's 0 for 2 in this game. Hits that one out into center field, and they say that he did not make the catch. 1 run's in, second runner over to third is safe. So a base hit for Luke Erickson. He picks up an RBI. O'Brien also picked up a 2 RBI base hit to center field in the 6th inning of Game 1. Ground ball out into center field. 1 run comes in. Here comes another one. And safe at the plate. A somewhat unusual 2-hit performance was by Lucas Costley, who's more used to holding up opposing teams to only 2 hits. Here's the pitch. And he sends one out into center field. Maybe he should bat more often. A base hit for Lucas Costley. You know, that's only appropriate following our between-game programming of the Adventures of Babe Ruth, because that's what Ruth did. Started out as a very effective pitcher, and then they discovered he could hit.
And boy, did he.
Later in that same game, Costley got his second hit by beating out an infield single.
Here's the pitch. High hopper, fielded by the shortstop, throw over to first, and they didn't get him. Infield hit for Lucas Costley.
Now on the mound in game one, Drew Wathke took the loss, going 2 2/3 innings and giving up 4 runs, only 2 of which were earned, to even up his record at 1-1. Jalen Pascal took the loss in game 2, going 3 1/3 innings and giving up 3 runs, with only 1 being an earned run. His record drops to 1-2 with a save on the season. Today, the Cavaliers will take on the Eau Claire Bears. The Bears and the Cavaliers are tied at 8-5 in the CRBL South Division and are battling for a playoff spot. The Bears are coming off a doubleheader split with the Bloomer Woodticks, winning the first game 7-2 and dropping the nightcap 6-4. At the plate, Todd Lasher led the way, going 4 for 7 on the day, with Quentin Gonzalez throwing a strong game for the win in game 1, going 7 innings and giving up only 1 earned run while striking out 15 Woodticks. The Bears and the Cavaliers have met twice already this season, with the Cavs winning the Billy Noss Memorial Game 4-1 and the Bears taking the game on June 14th 12-2. Lasher and Joe Holling each had strong performances, picking up 3 hits in those games, while Nate Kent, Hunter Ginther, and Tyler Astrike gathered 2 hits each. The Cavaliers come into this game trying to see if they can get back to winning baseball and take a lead over the Bears in the playoff race. Leading the way for the Cavaliers at the plate is Cooper Kapanke, who's batting .377 and has driven in 12 RBI on 20 hits, including 5 doubles. Right behind Kapanke with a .375 batting average is Gabe O'Brien, who has 21 hits, including 6 doubles and 2 home runs. Caden Erickson at .350, along with Campbell Kapanke at .303, round out the Cavaliers hitting over .300. On the mound, the Cavaliers are being led by Lucas Costley. He's posted a 6-0 record with a 2.49 ERA and has struck out 44 in his 43 1/3 innings pitched, including 3 complete games. Andrew Milner has a 3.41 ERA with a 2-2 record. Now, leading the Cavaliers in saves is Tyson Woodcock, who has picked up 2 so far this season. Jalen Pascal, along with Jackson Vance, come out of the bullpen with ERAs of 4.22 and 4.98, respectively. As a staff, the Cavaliers have a combined ERA of 4.85 with a whip of 1.75. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective as we chat with him on The Ryan Bemnister Show. You're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the River City Rough Riders from Simpson Field on the UW Eau Claire campus. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 2:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
The Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire presents The Ryan Bemnister Show, where Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister gives us his perspective on today's game. And now, The Ryan Bemnister Show.
Once again, we're at the Goat Coffee House talking with Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister. And Ryan, today the Cavaliers are going to try to get back on the winning track in a very important game when they take on the Eau Claire Bears. Before we get to that, we need to talk about Sunday when the Cavaliers dropped 2 games to the La Crescent Cardinals, 10-9 and then 9-2. Your thoughts about those games?
Well, if you look at the stats in those games outside of the runs, it looks like we should have won both of them.
Yeah, it was backwards, wasn't it?
Very backwards, yeah, which is very unfortunate because it's just weird. It was weird how those games played out and stuff. And we not that we threw off, but we didn't start any of our starters. We did a bullpen job in both the games, basically, for those games. And the guys pitched really well, which is really disappointing that we couldn't pull out a win for any of the four guys. I mean, Lucas threw, a third of an inning or whatever it was.
Yeah, he didn't even get that. I don't think
he got it out. Yeah, and but errors hurt us that day. Mistakes on the base pass. We grounded into too many double plays. We walked too many guys. It was a weird day.
Hit too many guys.
Yeah, it was a weird day. Yeah.
And when you cluster the walks and the hits together, then that spells trouble.
Yeah, and that's what it was all day long. And I mean, it's good to see the guys at the plate. I mean, they're hitting the ball, which is a positive. You got to take positive out of every single game. And we scored 8-9 runs in that first game, only 2 or 3 in the second game, whatever it was. But we hit the ball a lot. I mean, we had 10 hits in the second. I think we had at least 8 or 9 in the hits in the first game. I mean, we're hitting the ball, which was nice to see. And they threw some pretty decent pitchers at us, speed-wise and movement-wise. So it's good to see the guys hit. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's...
And we've been waiting for that.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that, now we're going to get back into our normal rotation of the 3-4 guys that we throw on the mound, and hopefully they can quiet down the other team's bats, and our bats can keep going. Because we're in a very important stretch coming up here starting today. So
now, a few games back, you commented that the players had expressed a wish that they could just play with a lead. And on Sunday, they had that in both games, but just couldn't seem to hold it. Now that they've found a way to get a lead, what can be done to hang on to it?
Clean up the fielding, 100%. That was one of the things we discussed after the game was we really need to clean up the errors. And I mean, you'll see the errors on the screen, 3 errors and 4 errors, or 2 errors and 3 errors, whatever it is. But it's also the mental errors, where the ball goes on bringing in the cuts. It cost us a run or 2 in the second game and a couple of bases there on missed throws on where things are going. Those things don't show up on the scoreboard as errors, but we know they're errors. Base running mistakes, not paying attention when you're on the field to signs I'm trying to give. I was trying to give a sign to a player at second. I'll leave him nameless. He knows who he is, and I kept on yelling at him. And every time he looked back, he just kind of waved me off, and I'm like, I'm trying to give you a sign here so we can get you out of this situation we're in and just try to manufacture a run. And just those mental type stuff. I mean, and then just being engaged. We talked about being engaged after the game. Like, we have the players in the field. Most of them are all engaged at all times. But the guys in the dugout, we need to be engaged in the game. We need to make sure that we are there supporting. We made a lot of good plays in that game, and I think 3 or 4 of them went unnoticed by the dugout. And it's just me and Brian cheering out there a little bit. And I'm like, hey guys, we really got to be engaged with our teammates. Just because you're done playing, or you think you're done playing, or you're just DHing, or no. There's always going to be times where we might need a pinch runner, a courtesy runner, a pinch hitter, an emergency fielder, anything like that. Be engaged with what's going on in the situations of the game, and then that forms a team, which then can feed off of each other on the field and off the field. So I'm hoping tonight we see a little bit of a different Cavs team than we've seen all year long. We're going to have more of our roster here tonight, so I'm hoping we're going to have 18, 19 guys, which gives me a full arsenal of everything to use. But then those guys that'll be there that weren't there this last weekend are guys that are always engaged, and I'm hoping they kind of kick the other ones in the butt a little bit and say, hey, this is important. These baseball games, regardless of conference, non-conference games or whatever the scrimmages, they're important. We got to be engaged in all the games all the time.
Now, with the fair opening tomorrow morning, I have to make this analogy because it seems like the Cavs have been taking us on all right, here it comes, a roller coaster ride. Now, sometimes they show brilliance on the mound, in the field, at the plate, and other times they really struggle. What can be done to get the Cavaliers performing consistently strong?
Repetition. I mean, they're in the field, they're going to make mistakes, and it seems like those mistakes that we make and where things kind of get ugly, it always happens in one inning. We talked about this a lot of times. Mm-hmm. It's a 1 this, it's a 1 that. We haven't yet, outside of Augusta, the second game we played against Augusta, and even that was a bad, we gave up a few runs, but as a team, as a whole, there's positives through everything there as a complete game. We haven't clicked as a team 100% through one full game yet, outside of that game. And I think it's coming. I think it's better to get hot late than it is early. We need to finish the season strong. You know, we're sitting tied with the Bears for second place, and it's, you know, we got to win as many games as we can because they only take the top 2 teams outside of the 2 division winners. It could be 2 teams on our side. It could be 1-1. You know, we might miss it, and so I think those guys just after the games having the conversations and be like, okay, hey, I know this was non-conference. I know we can work on these things, but now we got a conference game. Now you got to clean it up. Now you got to take and figure out what you did wrong there and feed it into the next game. I think they're doing that. It's just a slow process.
Now today the Cavaliers take on the Eau Claire Bears, and you are, as you mentioned, you're tied with the Bears in the Southern Division of the CRBL. What have you learned about the Bears from the other 2 meetings that you've had with them this year?
It's the Bears. I mean, it's the rivalry, and you know you can see they can hit the ball around. You know, and they got decent pitching. They got younger a little bit with a couple of guys that Chevy picked up that he kind of took from Legion and stuff, and that's fine. And it's, you know, we'll see what they throw against us. I mean, again, when we play conference games, we always know we get the guys that are their number 1, 2, and 3 on the mound. So it's always going to be kind of one of those things. We're never afraid of who they're going to throw at us. It's just a matter of limiting our mistakes and getting outs and putting runs on the board. And the Bears are going to put the ball in play. We saw that in both the games that we played them this year with the Billy Noss and then the conference game. They put the ball in play. I mean, one of the games they 10-runned us, and that leaves a bit, especially at Carson Park, that really put a bitter taste in the guys' mouths, and I hope they remember that. It's been a while since we played them, but I hope they remember that. I'm going to bring it up to them. So they know, and it's not just the importance. It'd be kind of
nice to do it to them at their place.
It would be really nice to do it to them in their place. And unfortunately, we don't have best of luck in City Park.
Right. You know? I was just thinking about that.
I don't know if I've won a game there yet, to tell you the truth. So, and that's fine and dandy. But, I mean, the guys are ready. I think they're primed. I think after the conversation we had against when the Crescent was all done, I hope they're ready to just kind of change, like not just turn the page in the book, but let's just close that freaking book and let's just start a new one.
Okay.
And let's start this new book of a 7-game conference stretch that we got to win 7 games. If we win those 7 games, we make the CRBL. And that's plain and simple, done and done. It's not just, okay, we got to beat the Bears and we got to beat the Rivers. No, we've got to beat every team we play going forward in our conference. And that's the book I want to start right now.
So who's on the mound tonight?
Costa. Lucas is going to throw.
I figured that this is pretty critical, and he's been your ace in the critical.
Yeah, and I mean, we got games this weekend that are non-conference again, I believe.
So boy, do we.
So we don't have to worry about too many things going forward. So really, it's going to be a short leash for everybody, and I don't mean just pitchers. I mean everybody. If we see guys that just aren't clicking at the plate or guys that just aren't fielding in the field, we've got guys ready to go. So we get in any sort of trouble, we're not going to try to let them work out of it and get out there in the next inning and try to work. No, we're going to make the change because we've got Milner ready. We're going to have Pascal ready. We're going to have Woodcock ready. We're going to have Jackson Vance ready. We may throw 5 or 6 guys against the Bears to give them different looks as they turn the lineups over. I mean, you know, Lucas is usually pretty good through the first 2 sets of that. He struggled a little bit the 3rd time they seen him, but he's usually good enough to shut him down. But the Bears are a good team, and this is an important game, so they might just see a new pitcher regardless. Once
just for a change of pace.
Yep, and we're not going to let things get out of hand at all in this game, and so we're all hands on deck tonight.
Well, Ryan, good luck on tonight's game. Maybe it's time for the Cavaliers to go bear hunting.
I hope so.
You've been tuned to the Ryan Bemnister Show presented by the Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire, with Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister's outlook on today's game. Stay tuned. More of In the Dugout is coming right up.
Honey, the kids are antsy. What can we do that will keep all of us entertained and won't break the bank?
How about we take them to the Cavaliers game? Tickets are inexpensive, there's popcorn, hot dogs, and other baseball treats, and great baseball action.
That's right, Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball, your best choice for affordable family entertainment. Check out the schedule at www.eauclaircavaliers.org.
Welcome back to In the Dugout, as we're getting ready to bring you all the action of today's game between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Bears. The Bears and the Cavaliers are battling in the CRBL South for a playoff spot, and breathing right down their necks are the Eau Claire Rivermen. So it seems like this would be a good time to take a look at the Chippewa River League to see where things stand. Now, back on Saturday, the Bloomer Woodticks and the Jim Falls Sturgeons split a doubleheader, with Bloomer coming out on top 15-2, and the Sturgeons taking the second game 3-0. Then on Sunday, the Eau Claire Bears also split a twin bill with the Woodticks, with the Bears winning the opener 7-2 and dropping the nightcap 6-4. Meanwhile, the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks swept the Beef River Bullfrogs 7-2 and 17-7. The Osseo Merchants took two from the Jim Falls Sturgeons 13-2 and 10-0, while the Eau Claire Bears edged out the Augusta Athletics 6-5 in a single game. And also in a single game, the Tilden Tigers slipped past the Cadott Red Sox 8-7. That leaves the league standings as follows. In the North, the 14-3 Tilden Tigers hold a 5-game lead over the 7-6 Cadott Red Sox. Meanwhile, the Jim Falls Sturgeons at 6-8 are 6.5 games back, and the 9-6 Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks are 6.5 games behind, while the Bloomer Woodticks at 4-10 are 8.5 back. In the South, the unbeaten 15-0 Osseo Merchants hold a 6-game lead over the 8-5 Eau Claire Bears, who are tied for second with the 8-5 Eau Claire Cavaliers, while the Eau Claire Rivermen are 6.5 games back at 8-6. Meanwhile, the 1-12 Augusta Athletics are 13 games back, and the 1-14 Beef River Bullfrogs are 14 games out. In addition to the Cavaliers traveling to Cinder City Park in Altoona to take on the Eau Claire Bears, other CRBL action tonight include the Tilden Tigers. They're going to host the Bloomer Woodticks at Casper Park in Chippewa Falls, while the Eau Claire Rivermen travel to Spangberg Field in Strum to take on the Beef River Bullfrogs. Finally, the Augusta Athletics will play host to the Osseo Merchants at Jan Kruger Memorial Field in Augusta. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get to know one of this season's Eau Claire Cavalier players on Cavalier Profile. You're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the St. Louis Park, Minnesota Pirates from Carson Park. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 4:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Time now to get to know a Cavalier player on Cavalier Profile. We'll get to know a little better who plays on this year's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball team. And now, Cavalier Profile.
Joining us today on Cavalier Profile is Cooper Kapanke. And Cooper, can you fill us in on your role with the Cavaliers?
So hopefully this season I can be kind of that middle of the lineup guy playing first or third base and try and drive in some runs, have some extra base hits, and just produce at the plate. So
this last spring you played another season at Winona State, and it appears as though you added a little power to your swing.
Can you tell us about that?
yeah, so I made a couple tweaks in my swing and put a little more weight on this year, and so I was able to find a little more power than I have in years past. That was good, able to drive in some runs and produce a little bit there. So I was pleased with how the season went and hopefully build on that for next year.
Now, what's your most memorable baseball experience? That can either be as a player or as a spectator.
I would say probably one of my most memorable baseball experiences was being able to play high school baseball with my brother for the playoffs. That was pretty cool. And yeah, I'd say just sharing the field with him.
How about filling us in a little bit about your family, and who's going to be watching you at Cavalier games?
So I got a lot of family that lives in Eau Claire, actually, that they're pretty consistent with coming to the Eau Claire Cavs games. So I'd say it's usually a given every afternoon or night that I have a bunch of grandparents and parents up in the stands right behind home plate watching, so pretty special.
I seem to recall last season you also had some four-legged spectators coming along. Are they going to be there this year?
Yeah, our family has 3 dogs that are pretty loud and crazy that are usually coming to games, so you can expect to see a handful of those dogs at some games.
Now we're going to throw some rapid-fire questions at you.
Let's do it.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Probably sugar cookies.
Okay, frosted or unfrosted?
Frosted.
Okay. Your favorite color and why?
I'd probably say purple. Probably just because my high school is purple, college is purple, and I've always just liked the color.
Okay. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I would probably say fly or super strength.
Okay, either one of those would work, or maybe you'd have them both and you could fly like Superman did. And yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Okay, so if you have a superpower like that, you got to have a superhero name to go with it. What do you think it would be?
So if I had superhuman strength, I'd probably say my name would be like Coop Daddy or something like that.
Okay, Coop Daddy. All right. Yeah. Either that or you've got a music career ahead of you.
Something like that. It'll work.
All right, your favorite Major League Baseball team as you were growing up?
Milwaukee Brewers.
And was there a Brewers player that you kind of emulated your play after?
Growing up, I was always a big Andrew McCutcheon guy. Loved him, yeah.
All right, great. Your favorite TV show or movie as you were growing up?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say, what's a good movie show? I'm blanking right now. I'd probably say like The League's good, Friends, Blue Mountain State, some of those. I'm not a huge TV watcher.
Okay, that's fine. We're talking with Cooper Kapanke on Cavalier Profile. And Cooper, when you're not playing baseball, where are we going to find you?
Probably with my buddies out on the water or just hanging out watching baseball.
And when people come to Cavalier games, where are they going to find you?
So they're going to find me playing third base or first base usually, and I'm usually pretty social, so I'll be talking to people on the fence line too. So
okay. Okay. We want to thank Cooper Kapanke for joining us today on Cavalier Profile. Coming up next, more in the dugout.
This has been Cavalier Profile, where we get to know a little better who plays on the Cavalier baseball team. Stay tuned, more in the dugout coming right up.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right, as a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Today the Cavaliers face off against the crosstown rival Eau Claire Bears from Cinder City Park in Altoona. Keys to today's game? Well, we keep scratching our heads to see which Cavalier team is going to show up. Will it be the one that plays brilliantly or the one that will struggle through the day? We know the Bears will come ready to play, and the Cavaliers need to match or exceed that effort. And that means you're about to see some exciting Cavalier baseball, and we'll have it all for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll be joining the rest of our broadcast crew at Cinder City Park in Altoona as we bring you all the action of today's game between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Bears. That's coming up next. You've been tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching the In the Dugout show with a look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a presentation of NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Eau Claire Cavalier baseball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly brings you today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. Join us as we follow the Cavs while they battle their way through the Chippewa River Baseball League.
Fly ball into left field. Could it be? Could it be? Way back. Off the fence and it's out of here. It's a 3-run home run and the Cavaliers take the lead.
And now, out to the ballpark for coverage of today's game.
And good evening and welcome to Cinder City Park in Altoona as the Cavaliers are getting ready to take on the Eau Claire Bears in a game that is really critical in the CRBL South as both teams are sitting at 8-5 and battling for that playoff spot. Rick Olson here along with Ben Ryan. He's the newest member of our NLWN-TV crew. And along with Ed Monroe on the computer and Dan Petchow on the camera to give us all the great shots. And we're ready for starting lineups. So, Ben, if you're ready... And go for it, Ben. Give us those starting lineups.
Now the starting lineup for your Eau Claire Bears.
Batting first for the Eau Claire Cavaliers, playing second base, Caden Erickson, batting .350. Batting second,
number 8, Hunter
Josh Garcia, playing third base, batting .264. Batting third, Gabe O'Brien. Playing right field, batting .375. Batting fourth, Cooper Kapanke. Playing first base, batting .377. Batting fifth, the DH, Jack Redwine, batting .259. Batting sixth, center fielder, Xavier Bemnister, batting .295. Playing catcher, Cole Timon, batting .220. Batting eighth, left fielder, Campbell Kapanke, batting .330. Batting ninth, shortstop Jackson Vance, batting .238.
Number 9, Grant Preston.
For the Eau Claire Bears, leading off shortstop Nate Kent. Batting second pitcher Hunter Ginther. Batting third first baseman Blake Johnson. Catcher batting fourth Joe Holling. Batting fifth right fielder Todd Lasher. Batting sixth left fielder Mitch Bendixson. Batting seventh second baseman Matt Miller. Batting eighth third baseman Quentin Gonzalez. And batting ninth center fielder Grant Preston.
And we'll stop here for the playing of our national anthem. And that's the playing of our national anthem here at Cinder City Park. And Ben, were you all done with lineups yet or not quite?
I got the lineups all done.
Play baseball.
Okay. Well, that, as the public address announcer said, let's play baseball. On the mound for the Bears is Hunter Ginther. And Hunter used to be a member of the Cavaliers last year. And earlier this season, he was on the mound when the Bears defeated the Cavaliers 12-2. Pitching today for the Cavaliers, Lucas Costley comes into the game with a 6-0 record and a 2.59 ERA. Unfortunately, the Bears don't do a lot of publishing of their statistics, so we don't have a whole lot of that information for us. But we'll move along as best we can. And calling balls and strikes tonight behind the plate is very veteran umpire Dick Smith. And Billy McKnight is out on the bases. Throw goes down to second from Joe Holling, and we are ready to get started. And stepping up to the plate for the Cavaliers is Caden Erickson.
Number 6, Caden Erickson.
Caden Erickson is batting .350 on the season.
Erickson steps in. Ginther looks in for the sign. He winds and fires. And a ground ball through the hole into left field, and Erickson starts things off with a base hit. It wasn't a powerful hit, but Wee Willie, what was his last name? He's the one who said, hit it where they ain't, and that's exactly what Erickson did. So Josh Garcia is at the plate, playing third base.
Josh Garcia coming with a .264 batting average.
Shows bunt, and it was called a ball. Erickson takes his lead over at first. And the pitch. Squares to bunt. He doesn't offer. It's low for a ball.
I think runs are going to be at a premium tonight. So that's my opinion on why he would be bunting there.
As humble as it is, that opinion. And you may be right, though. And the Cavs are trying to manufacture runs any way they can. Here's the pitch. Again, he shows bunt, and it's a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Erickson with his lead at first. And the 2-1 pitch. Fly ball out into left field. Moving back is Bendixson. He's under it and makes the catch.
So we have 1 out in the inning.
That's going to bring up Gabe O'Brien, the right fielder for the Cavaliers.
Gabe O'Brien comes in batting .375 on the season.
He's got a pair of home runs to go with that. In fact, taking a look at Cinder City Park here, first pitch is a called strike on the outside third. It's 327 to left field foul pole, 348 in the power alley. And maybe you can see the center field.
That's 365 to center, Rick.
Okay. I have about 3 bodies to look through to be able to see it. That next pitch was a ball, so we're even at 1-1. 352 to the right field power alley and 330 to the right field foul pole. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and pitch is low. Ball 2. Yeah, funny how when you try to see out to center field and all of a sudden, actually 4 bodies I was trying to look through. My x-ray vision doesn't work that well. So 3 balls now and 1 strike.
And he's clearly taken on this pitch. That pitch was called a strike. Pretty much right down the middle.
And our cameras seem to have frozen up, but we're working on that.
That was a swinging strike 3 there. So now there'll be 2 outs in the inning. Up to bat now, number 7, Cooper Kapanke, batting .377 on the season.
Cooper, the leading hitter for the Cavaliers. And the pitch is a swing and a miss for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Erickson takes off, swing and a miss, strike 2.
Catcher did not even bother to throw down. That base runner just simply had such a great jump on that one.
And it's a chopper out to short. Throw over to first in time. And so Kapanke goes down. So for the Cavaliers, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We played a half inning, and it's the Cavaliers nothing and the Bears coming to bat on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I love the pizza we get when we go to Gino's Pizza.
That's because Gino's has been voted best pizza in the Chippewa Valley 5 years in a row.
I think it's because Gino's uses the freshest ingredients, premium quality meats, cheeses, savory spices, and zesty toppings, and all served with attention to detail.
Now you're making me hungry. Let's head to Gino's Pizza.
Scott and the rest of the folks at Gino's Pizza would like to invite you to come out and try the area's best pizza. Call about Monday through Wednesday dine-in specials at 715-835-2000. That's Gino's Pizza at 5110 Fairview Drive, Eau Claire, right next to Chaos Water Park.
And we're getting ready to go into the bottom of the first inning, and we just saw that announcement for Gino's Pizza. Gino's player of the game, and Ben was the one who got to roll the lucky dice today, and it came up as Caden Erickson. He did get a base hit, but he hasn't scored yet. But when you go out to Gino's Pizza tomorrow, just mention Caden's name, and you will get a free soft drink. And if Caden manages to score tonight, well, then it's going to turn into a free appetizer for your table.
Rick, as I mentioned earlier, the reason I think the runs are going to be at a premium tonight is the Cavs are throwing their ace. And so on our side of things, I don't see the Bears scoring that many runs. On the other hand, I hope we score some runs.
That would be very, very nice. Lucas Costley on the mound, and he has been very effective all season. He's got 3 complete games.
I'm looking at the stats. He comes in with a 2.49 ERA, 43.1 innings pitched, 33 hits given up, 12 earned runs, 20 base on balls, and 44 strikeouts.
And taking a look at the Cavaliers defensively, Josh Garcia is at third, Jackson Vance at short, Caden Erickson at second, Cooper Kapanke over at first, Cole Tyman behind the plate, left field, Campbell Kapanke, Xavier Bemnister out in center field, and right field is Gabe O'Brien. And as we mentioned, Lucas Costley on the mound. Nate Kent up to bat for the Bears, and the first pitch is a ball. It's outside. Kent, the left-hander. Costley looks in for the sign and delivers. Strike called. That was on that inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nate Kent. Costley delivers. And it's it missed low.
You know, Rick, it would be nice if we could keep this guy off the base paths. He looks like he does have some speed. Always nice to keep those fast guys off the bases.
I agree with you on that. 2 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch fouled away. Counts even at 2-2.
At the ball brought to you by Elite Extra.
Any predictions on what pitch he'll throw here, Rick?
It's a good time for his breaking ball. Costley has a very effective curve. Here's the pitch.
Looks like
Fly ball out into left field. Campbell Kapanke gets under it and he makes a catch.
Looks like he went with a fastball on that one.
Yes, it did. That's what I get for trying to guess.
I was with you on the curveball, but I was wrong too.
Second for the Bears, the pitcher, number 8, Hunter Ginther.
Hunter Ginther comes to the plate.
Not too often do you see a pitcher bat number 2 in the lineup, but that's what we have tonight.
Costley looking in for the sign. And he delivers. Fastball, and Ginther chased it and fouled it back to the screen.
If I was this pitcher for the Cavs, I would give him a steady dose of fastballs. What are your thoughts, Rick?
I think so. Costley at the belt. Costley works from the belt all the time. Here's the pitch. Curveball, strike called. So much for that theory.
You know, it fooled me, and I think it fooled the batter too, Rick.
I think you're right. No balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Ginther. And the pitch. High pop-up infield. Erickson moves over, but Vance makes the catch.
That was good communication out there, Rick. It was either the shortstop or the second baseman that was going to make the call, and it's very important that players communicate, so that was a very good job by the Cavaliers.
That's going to bring up Blake Johnson, the first baseman. Evidently, there's no volume control on the walk-up music.
I was going to say, Rick, this guy looks like he has some power, so we better be pretty careful on how we pitch to him.
And Costley knows this as well. 1 ball, no strikes to Blake Johnson. And the pitch. Inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Costley at the belt. And the 2-0 pitch. Fly ball out into right field. It's going to get out to the warning track. Picked up out there, and Johnson is going to check in at second base with a double.
Stand-up double, hit that ball pretty hard. No way of making a triple, so he just stands up at second base.
Because Gabe O'Brien got over on it pretty quickly, but that was a good, solid double by Blake Johnson. That's going to bring up Joe Holling, the catcher.
We've got 2 outs. We just need 1 more. What do you think he's going to throw him for the pitching here, Rick?
Oh, I've stopped trying to guess what Costley's going to do because he would have me struck out. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Looked like a fastball there, Rick. Might have been
inside,
a little movement.
Right at the knees.
I like the location of that one.
Got Holling to chase after it. Costley delivers. At the letters. Costley fields a chopper and throw over to first and in time. So for the Bears, they pick up no runs on that 1 hit, the double by Johnson, no errors and 1 left on base. And we have played 1 inning with no score from Cinder City Park in Altoona on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
And we're back here at Cinder City Park in Altoona. No score as we head into the 2nd inning. Due up for the Cavaliers, Jack Redwine, Xavier Bemnister, and Cole Timon.
Jack Redwine comes in as the DH tonight, batting .259 on the season.
Yeah, he was one of the few Cavaliers who had a pretty nice day down in La Crescent. Otherwise, the Cavaliers were kind of stymied to some degree. Although they did pick up a fair number of hits, they just couldn't cluster them and turn them into runs.
You know, Rick, it's funny you say that. I asked the coach before the game for the Cavs what his main goal was, and he said it was to push the right buttons tonight to trigger this team to get the win over the Bears.
And that's pretty critical with the way things stand right now, both teams being 8-5. So Redwine steps in. He's the co-leader of the Cavaliers in home runs. He and Gabe O'Brien each have 2 of them. Cavaliers are not a power-hitting team, so they need to get a lot of base hits. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's a strike called. Counts even at 1-1.
You know, it would be nice if Jack would stay hot here.
And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2.
That looked like a fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ginther winds and fires. It's outside. Counts even at 2-2. Ginther winds and the 2-2 pitch. Foul. Well, no, it's a fly ball in left field. Falls in for a base hit. Ginther rounds first. He heads for second. Finally, the ball gets picked up. Ginther makes a big turn at second and decides to stay there. Or check that. That's Redwine. I was talking about Hunter Ginther, and this old brain doesn't shift gears that well anymore. You know, it's a rusty transmission, and so. But anyway, Jack Redwine sends it out to the left field corner for a double.
Rick, tell us what you know about this current batter, Xavier Bemnister, please.
Xavier really struggled last season, and this year he got off to a hot start. He's kind of leveled off a little bit, but he's still a good, solid hitter for the Cavaliers. He shows bunt. It's high for a ball. A good hitter for the middle of the lineup is the place he belongs. Here's the pitch. That's a strike called on the outside corner.
Rick, it looks like the first baseman and the third baseman are expecting him to bunt based on where they're playing.
Yeah, they're charging. Shortstop is heading over towards third. He squares to bunt, and he pulls back. It's now 3-1.
I said it earlier. I think runs are going to be at a premium in this game.
Or 2-1. Check that. He shows bunt. He gets it, lays it down right in front of the plate, and throw to first, and the sacrifice is completed. Moved Redwine over to third. So a sacrifice bunt.
We have Cole Timon coming up to bat now. He's batting .220 in this season.
Cole has been swinging a little bit of a hotter bat of late, and when he does, he hits with power. He got off to a really cold start at the beginning of the season, but now it's coming around. Here's the pitch. It's high and inside for ball 1.
Rick, I would totally take a sacrifice fly in this situation. How about you?
That would not be a problem. Redwine at third, and the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
You talked about it earlier, Rick. The players like to play with the lead, so it'd be nice to get this running and get that lead.
That's right. They were talking about that not too long ago. Here's a ground ball through the hole into left field. Redwine comes in to score, and Timon checks in at first with an RBI single.
You know, Rick, you ask and you shall receive. We wanted the run, and we got the run.
That's right. So Jack Redwine comes in to score, putting the Cavs on top 1-0, and up steps Campbell Kapanke.
Campbell comes in with a .330 batting average on the season.
1 out. Cavs on top, 1-0. Here's the pitch. It's called strike. At the knees, that one came right down the middle of Water Street. Here's the pitch from Ginther. Swung on and fouled back to the screen.
It appears as the Cavs are playing this safe, I don't see that runner on first trying to steal second.
And in fact, who is out there at first? Jalen Pascal, the courtesy runner. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Now we'll see what the Cavaliers do with 2 outs. Coming to bat here is
the shortstop,
Jackson Vance, the shortstop, coming in the year batting .238.
Vance was a pretty much regular shortstop last year. Here's the pitch. Runner goes, and the throw. And he was in safe.
Looked like he got a pretty good jump, Rick, from my viewpoint. I don't think the catcher, even with a good throw, would have had him.
So, Cavs have a runner in scoring position. Jalen Pascal out there. Here's the pitch. Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down. Cavs on top, 1-0. We're in the top of the second inning. And the pitch. Check swing, ground ball over to second. Scooped up there by Miller. Throw over to first in time for the out.
Oh, I can't complain. We got a run across the board. We're playing with the lead. What are your thoughts, Rick?
Well, I thought 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. And we've played an inning and a half on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Cinder City Park, getting ready for the bottom of the second inning. Due up for the Bears, Todd Lasher, Mitch Bendixson, and Matt Miller. Cavaliers have opened up a 1-0 lead, courtesy of the double by Jack Redwine, and then the RBI single by Cole Timon.
Rick, it's nice to be playing with a lead. Your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. That gives the pitcher some freedom, and he knows he's got a little bit of room to work with. 1 run is not much of a lead, but at least it's there.
The second for the Eau Claire Bears, the right fielder, number 33, Todd Lasher.
So Todd Lasher steps to the plate. Lasher's a tall drink of water. Plays right field. Costley delivers, and the first pitch is outside. Curveball broke a little too far. That's actually the one that he would like to start by throwing right in the direction of Lasher and have it break right over the plate as Lasher's bailing out. 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball swung on and missed. Actually, I think it was foul tipped out of the glove of Timon.
Defense pretty much playing straight away, center fielder, straight away, everybody else in their normal position.
Costley at the belt. And the 1-1 pitch. That's a called strike at the knees on the outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm going to say curveball here, Rick.
He's ahead. That would be a good time for it. Here's the pitch. Yeah, and that's what he tried to do, only it didn't curve. The only thing that curved that time was the spine of Lasher as he ducks down out of the way.
Rick, on a 2-2 pitch here, what would you throw?
Now you want to get him here, so the fastball's coming. At least in my head.
Looks like the catcher's setting up a little outside. We'll see what happens.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it was a fastball. Tried to get him to chase it just off the outside edge.
3 here, 2, Rick. We come back with a fastball.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't want to lose him here. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3.
And once again, Rick was right. Fastball got him swinging.
That is Costley's strikeout pitch.
It's nice to have somebody with me that knows this pitcher so well. I really appreciate you, Rick.
And the thing about Costley is his fastball isn't just a straight fastball. It's got a little tail and break to it. So, yeah, he'll get these guys on the fastball. Mitch Bendixson at the plate, the left fielder. That one's a little bit high. 1 ball. 1 out. And that pitch caught the outside corner. Dick Smith behind the plate. We kind of like having Dick Smith back there because he makes it real clear what is a ball and what's a strike. That one's low.
You know, Rick, this batter appears to be getting a steady diet of fastballs.
2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 2.
That's 4 fastballs in a row, Rick. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But again, his fastball is moving a little left to right as well. There's a foul ball out of play.
Rick, what are you going to throw here if you're the pitcher?
I'm coming back with the fastball. I'll get out of the inning pretty quick here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's low and away.
Looked like a curveball there,
I
Rick.
think you're right.
I'm thinking fastball here, 3-2. You don't want to lose them.
Sounds like we've been here before. And the pitch. Ground ball over to third. Picked up there, throw over to first. And it's a low throw. Kapanke can't come up with it. And safe at first is Mitch Bendixson. And that's going to be an error on Garcia over at third.
One thing you like to see, Rick, the right fielder was right there backing him up. Not a problem with the throw.
Yeah, it kept him from getting that extra base.
You know, you're taught that in Little League. As you get older, it's nice if you can remember to keep doing that.
Stick with the fundamentals.
Yeah.
All right, stepping up to the plate is Matt Miller, the second baseman. And the first pitch is low for a ball.
Rick, if
curiosity note here, Matt Miller is a former manager of the Cavaliers. 3 managers ago. And the pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes.
I was going to ask you, Rick, if you bunt in this situation, but it doesn't appear that this guy is going to do that.
No, that's not the kind of thing he's doing. 2 balls, no strikes. Costley delivers. That's a strike on the outside corner. Two and one. And the pitch. Ground ball, foul down the third baseline. Counts even at 2-2.
The runner on first base not getting much of a lead, maybe 2-3 steps. Not really a danger to steal, I would say, Rick.
He takes his lead. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss. Strike 3. Matt Miller goes down swinging.
Well, we can breathe a sigh of relief. We have 2 outs. We still got to get the third one, but life is a lot easier now, Rick.
Batting eighth for the Bears.
And stepping up for the Bears is Quentin Gonzalez, the third baseman. Gonzalez is also a pitcher for the Bears and has had a really good season so far. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. Hey, want to give a shout out to our friends out in the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming who are tuned in tonight. Chopper back towards short, scooped and throw over to first in time. Vance tosses it over to Kapanke, and the Cavaliers are out of the inning. No runs, no hits. There was one Cavalier error and one left on base. We've played two, and the Cavaliers are on top, 1-0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
So we're back here at Cinder City Park, heading into the third inning, due up for the Cavaliers. Top of the order, Caden Erickson, our Geno's player of the game. Make sure you mention Caden's name when you go out to Geno's tomorrow. You'll get a free soft drink, and I know Caden would love to score a run and provide you guys with a free appetizer for your table. I know his mom would really like that, because the last time he was a Geno's player of the game, that's exactly what he did. And she sent his dad out to Geno's to get the app, but she ate it at home and really enjoyed it. Here's a swing and a miss for a strike. Hunter Ginther winds and fires, swing and a miss, strike two. Ginther's got a little bit of break happening on that ball. He's got the Cavs a little bit off balance. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High chopper on the third base side, and they're not going to make a play, and I think that's going to be a base hit because that was such a high hopper. I don't think they'd have had a play on him anyway.
I'm going to give that one a hit, Rick.
I think so. I think that's I'm waiting to see if the scoreboard puts anything up, but I don't think they're going to. I think that's an infield hit.
We've got Josh Garcia batting now, batting 264 on the season.
He flew out to right field his last time up. He shows bunt, fouls it off on the third base side. Erickson was taking off for second. They were doing a little bunt and run here.
You know, Rick, I like the Cavaliers' strategy. I think runs are at a premium tonight. I think we got to move the base runners over. I like what they're doing.
I like the old school ball of bunt them over. No balls and a strike. Squares to bunt. Throw down to second. Erickson's in safely.
You know, Rick, I like it that the Cavs are being aggressive. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's two stolen bases for Caden Erickson. I like seeing the activity out on the base. That's how you get runners into scoring position. Now a base hit scores them. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Garcia. He squares to bunt. He bunts it down the third base line. Foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You can bet the bunt is off now. Josh Garcia goes by the nickname Cali. Originally from California. Big California Angels fan. And the pitch fouled off on the left side, out of play.
You know, I like to see the Cavs making this pitcher work, Rick.
Yes. Battle at the plate, make him throw a lot of pitches. Count holds at 1-2. Ginther looks in. And the pitch. Foul back.
Catcher couldn't hold that foul tip, Rick. That's a lucky break for us.
That was fouled back pretty hard. It would have put a hole in his hand had he held on to it, I think.
And the umpire stepping to the mound to give the catcher some time to recompose himself. I like it when they do that.
Dick Smith is, like I say, an experienced pro. Notice I didn't call him an old pro. He's an experienced pro, and he knows how to do that. There's a fly ball out in left field, falls down, and they're going to say foul. It wasn't foul by very much. It was pretty close. You know, the relationship, though, between umpires and catchers, regardless of the team, there's a lot of respect between both. Count is still 1-2 to Josh Garcia.
Yeah, Rick, there's a lot of unspoken things that go on between the umpire and the catcher.
They kind of watch out for each other. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's low and inside.
The catcher did a good job of blocking that.
Yeah, Joe Holling scrambled onto that real quick to make sure that Erickson stayed at second. Counts even at 2-2.
I'm thinking fastball, Rick.
Hunter Ginther delivers, and it's a ground ball over to first. Johnson steps over and makes the out, but Erickson moves over.
That puts Erickson in a nice position to score on a sacrifice fly, Rick.
Yeah, getting a runner to third with less than 2 outs is very advantageous. So 1 out. Gabe O'Brien struck out his first time up. Fly ball out into center field. This should score a run. Under it is Preston. He makes the catch, but in comes Erickson, so it's a sacrifice fly.
To your point, Rick, that was well done by the Cavs to get that guy in on that sacrifice fly.
And they worked that run. Caden Erickson got the infield single, stole second, went to third on a ground ball to first, and then scores on the sac fly.
Now up to bat is Cooper Kapanke, coming in at .377 on the season.
Kapanke swings and misses. He grounded to short his last time up. Here's the pitch. Chopper out in front of the plate, rolls foul.
You know, it appears like they're going to give him nothing but junk, Rick.
Well, that makes sense. Kapanke has, first of all, a real strong batting average, and he does have power, although he hasn't shown it yet this year. He's not afraid to put it over the fence, so. That's high and inside.
So the bases are empty. Everybody's playing their normal position. Depth is
Kapanke
normal.
must have shaved today, because otherwise he would have been on first, because that would have been a hit batter if he still had whiskers. And it's a high pop-up into the outfield, converging, and it gets caught out there by the shortstop.
You know, Rick, I've never seen that. It appeared to hit the outfielder's glove, and then it bounced right into the shortstop's glove. Have you ever seen that in all your years?
No, and I didn't see it this time. I'm counting on you because, again, I had 4 bodies to look through, and they were right in line with it. And so, anyway, the Cavaliers go down in the 3rd inning, but they pick up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and nobody left on base. So we've played 2.5, and it's the Cavaliers 2 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
All right, stepping up to the plate for the Eau Claire Bears, the number 9 hitter, Grant Preston, the center fielder. Here's the pitch. Slow and inside for a ball.
You know, it'd be nice if the Cavs could get out of this inning with not too many pitches being thrown by their pitcher.
Here's the pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner.
You know, when you have your ace on the mound, you want him to go as long as he can in the game, and the less pitches he throws, the longer he can go.
He hasn't thrown too many. Here's a check swing ground ball. Kapanke scoops it up. Flip to Costley, and they're out at first.
You know, you like to see that, Rick. You know, 3 pitches, we get out, and that's just efficient baseball by the Cavs there.
Nice job by Costley of fielding his position by getting over and covering first base as well.
That's good fundamentals. They teach you that in Little League. It's nice that these guys can follow up on this level and keep doing that.
So it takes us back to the top of the order for the Bears. Nate Kent, who flew out to left field his first time up. And a pitch right down Water Street that time. I think that's a brand new stripe down the middle of Water Street on that one. Here's the pitch. Line shot, and it gets through a diving Jackson Vance out into center field. That's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, Jackson gave it everything he had. He dove. Just
tried to nail the line drive.
It would have been a really good play, Rick.
Good pitcher, Hunter Ginther.
So, runner on first in the personage of Nate Kent. Hunter Ginther at the plate. He popped to short his last time up. High chopper out to second, flip to short for 1, and Vance decides to hang on to the ball rather than risk an error.
You know, Rick, that's a good job of getting the lead runner there by that player for the Cavs. You like it when they do things right. That's fundamental baseball. You don't want that runner to advance a second.
Right, and you never assume the double play, so Ginther gets on a fielder's choice, 4-6. And that brings up Blake Johnson. He doubled his last time up.
Yeah, Rick, we got to be careful how we pitch to this guy. We don't want to give him anything too good to hit here.
Well, he hit that one out into right center field his last time up. Out by that 252 mark. Check swing, and he went, so it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, this is really efficient pitching by this Cavalier pitcher right here. This is just
This
awesome.
is where Lucas Costley shines. Fly ball, foul off the right side. And off the storage shed off on the right side.
I mean, if we could get 6, 7, 8 innings out of this starting pitcher for the Cavaliers, I would be so happy, Rick.
Well, 8 innings is a lot to ask for, but 6, that's a doable thing for Costley. Here's the pitch. That just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner on first. Costley at the belt. And the pitch. Check swing. No, he didn't go. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Rick, where was that pitch?
I think it was a little high.
Thank you for explaining that to me, Rick. I missed that one.
And here's another foul ball off on the right side, out of play.
Sometimes my perception of a ball or a strike is different than Rick, so it's always nice to check in with him once in a while.
And mine is oftentimes different than the umpire. Of course, everybody's is different than the umpire. Full count. And time is called. Full count to Blake Johnson.
That pitch would have been a ball, so I'm kind of glad that time was called. Rick.
Well, time was called as Costley was in his motion, and so he just threw it and wasn't worried about. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and he threw the heat.
And the Cavs get out of the inning unscathed. I am very happy, Rick. Things are going really good.
No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. 1 left on base. We've played 3. And it's the Cavaliers 2 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Royal Credit Union's low rates and flexible terms on auto loans can help keep your payments low. Get a great rate on your next car or truck purchase, or refinance an existing vehicle with an auto loan from Royal Credit Union. Royal also offers loans for buying or refinancing boats, UTVs, and other vehicles. Royal Credit Union wants to help keep your payments low. Check rates and apply for a Royal Credit Union vehicle loan online at rcu.org/autorate. Subject to credit approval.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right, as a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
The Cavaliers.
And we're back here at Cinder City Park heading into the top of the 4th inning. Hunter Ginther still on the mound starting his 4th inning of work. And you were asking me while we were off the air there how many innings he's going to be good for. And, you know, that's a really good, I'm trying to remember back to the other game how far he went. And there's a fly ball foul down the left field line for Jack Redwine. Redwine doubled his last time up and scored the Cavalier first run. Here's the pitch. Redwine sends a fly ball out into center field. It's way back. And making a snow cone catch on a spectacular web gem out there in center field is Preston. He made it. That ball showed itself in the webbing of his glove, but he held on a diving catch out in center field.
You know, Rick, that just shows you, as an outfielder, you want to follow that ball right off the bat.
That was a pretty spectacular play by the Bears center fielder, Grant Preston. At the plate is Xavier Bemnister. Bemnister laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Counts even at 1-1. His bunt moved Redwine over to third, and then Redwine was able to score on the hit by Timon. And the pitch is in the dirt, back to the screen. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, Rick, it's good to see the Cavaliers making this Eau Claire Bears pitcher work. I really enjoy seeing that.
The 2-1 pitch. Foul back. Counts even at 2-2 now.
I mean, the Cavaliers need to make this guy work so they can take him out and get the next pitcher in, and then we can tee off on the next pitcher.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Fly ball, foul territory, out of play on the right side.
That foul ball brought to you by Seamless Gutters of Eau Claire.
So the youth that are here at the ball field are getting their exercise with the foul balls.
And that's a good thing to see. That's part of what makes baseball a great sport. Here's the pitch, and it's a called strike at the knees to Xavier Bemnister for strike 3. It's going to bring up Cole Timon, who singled his first time up.
Cole batting .220 on the season.
It was an RBI single. 2 down. And the pitch. That's low for a ball.
That was good discipline there by the hitter.
I've always thought that a catcher has an advantage because, and here's the pitch, and that's fouled off, because you see so many pitches, and you see what's going to be a strike and what's not a strike, and so your batter's eye has got to have an advantage over regular defensive player. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short, picked up by Kent. Throw over to first, and they got him.
You know, Rick, you're absolutely right. Over my years of watching, coaching, and talking to ball players, I was taught to catcher, and they say exactly what you say. Catcher has an advantage that way.
So for the Cavaliers, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 3.5, and it's the Cavs 2 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the St. Louis Park, Minnesota Pirates from Carson Park. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 4:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Back here at Cinder City Park in Altoona. And Rick Olson along with Ben Ryan and Ann Monroe, Dan Petshaw, Ryder. I don't know why. Well, I got the first two letters right of the last name.
Yeah, Rick, I'm actually making my debut tonight, so I'm a little nervous, so I appreciate all your help, Rick. I'm the one that should be nervous, not you.
Yeah, it's not a case of being nervous. It's just a case of being old.
So, Rick, if you were the pitcher...
I knew your name this afternoon.
Rick, if you were the pitcher, how would you pitch this guy?
With strikes.
It's a good answer,
And,
Rick.
you know, to be serious with you, yeah, just throw strikes. You've got 8 other guys out there behind you. Throw strikes. Like that.
Rick, I like the way you think. Keep it simple. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Joe Holling is the batter at the plate. 0-1 is the count. He grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Lucas Costley at the belt and delivers. Chopper foul down the third base side.
Rick and I were talking off air. The Cavaliers really want this game. You can tell by their body language. You can tell by their manager's body language. This is a good thing to see. I like this, Rick.
It's a bit of a hustle today.
And Costley delivers. Line shot over Erickson's head out into right field. And Holling rounds first, and he's going to stay there.
You know, Rick, you like to see that right fielder got that ball in real quick. There was no chance of that guy going to second base.
You know, I'm looking around at the crowd here, and we do have a nice crowd here at Altoona. But people are bundled up almost like it's a football game, and it's kind of chilly here today. Todd Lasher, victim of a strikeout his first time up. And there's a strike on the outside corner.
You know, I like the location on that, Rick. It's outside. I don't think that batter's going to do anything with that particular pitch. You don't want to be too careful on this guy.
Here's the pitch. It's a high pop-up. Kapanke moves over into foul territory and makes the catch.
You know, you like to see that, Rick. The players were talking. It was Cooper's ball all the way, and everybody knew it. You like to see that. That's good communication by the Cavaliers.
64 degrees. 64 overcast degrees here at Cinder City Park. And Mitch Bendixson steps to the plate. He got on the only error of the game by Josh Garcia over at third base on a low throw. Pitch is high and inside for a ball. Costley at the belt. And he delivers. Fly ball, foul territory, right side out of play.
You know, Rick, I would love to see a tailor-made double play ball right here. That would be so nice.
Like a 4-6-3?
I'll take that, Rick.
Yeah, okay. And the pitch. That just missed outside. 2 balls and a strike.
You know, I think he knows, Rick, that ump is calling that outside pitch, and I like the choice of the pitch there.
Dick Smith does tend to give that outside corner, so Cosley knows that. He likes to live on that outside corner. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to Vance. Throw over to second for 1. Throw to first. Double play. There's your 5-4-3 double play. And the Cavaliers are out of the inning.
Like I said earlier, a double play ball would be nice here, and we got it. Good job, Cavs.
Nice job of turning that double play. And so we've gotten through 4 innings, and the Cavaliers are on top 2-0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the River City Rough Riders from Simpson Field on the UW Eau Claire campus. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 2:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
And we're back here at Cinder City Park. Defensively, the Bears have made some changes. Joel Zacco is now playing shortstop, and Nate Kent is moved over to third. Quentin Gonzalez has come in to the bench.
Up to bat here is Campbell Kapanke. He's batting 8th tonight, and he's hitting .330 on the season.
And he did a check swing foul back to the screen for strike 1. Struck out his first time up. And there's a strike called. 0-2 now the count to Kapanke. Campbell's been in a bit of a slump lately. And here's the pitch. And that's just low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was a really close pitch for Ginther. Here's the wind and the delivery fouled away. Count holds at 1-2.
You like to see that, Rick. He's making that pitcher throw a lot of pitches. You like to see that.
Ginther looks in, he winds and delivers. Line shot out into right field for a base hit for Campbell Kapanke. Maybe that's a sign of him getting out of that slump.
You know, Rick, that's just a great job of hitting by Campbell Kapanke there. That's just a great job of hitting there.
Right, and he kept things alive with the foul ball. And, I'm seeing Ann's favorite bat boy out there, the little guy.
Now batting, Rick, will be Jackson Vance. He comes in batting .238 in the season. He's batting 9th tonight.
And he grounded to second. Squares to bunt. Puts it down right in front of home plate. Throw to first, and the sacrifice is completed.
You know, Rick, I like this strategy by the Cavs. You know, let's try to tack on another run. We got a guy in scoring position, 1 out. I like small ball. I'm a big fan of small ball. And we'll see what this next batter here can do.
That brings up Caden Erickson, and Erickson is 2 for 2 tonight. Scored a run.
Caden Erickson batting .350 on the season.
And the first pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. Erickson had a high chop infield hit to third. It bounced off the ground so hard and went so high that they had no chance at making a play. Now he lines one out into left field, fair ball. Round third, coming in to score is Campbell Kapanke, and Erickson checks into second with an RBI double to left.
You know, Rick, the Cavaliers are pushing all the right buttons tonight, and it's nice to see. I talked to the coach before the game, and I asked him what his main goal for the game was, and he told me it was to push all the right buttons and get these guys to produce tonight.
So the Cavs are on top 3-0. Erickson out at second. Erickson's had a hot night tonight. Josh Garcia at the plate. He's 0 for 2. Flew out to right and grounded to the first baseman. No balls and 1 strike. Ginther looks over at second and delivers. Ground ball to short, and he's in. No, they say they tagged him. And Bemnister has some words for Erickson. So it's 6-5 on the putout. And Garcia's on a fielder's choice.
You know, Rick, I like the aggressiveness by the Cavaliers. I wish he would have slid at third. But I like the aggressiveness.
Well, the other thing is he didn't look to see that the ball got through the infield. Check swing, high foul.
That's a good point, Rick. They always teach you that in Little League. Make sure the ball gets through the infield. You are correct, Rick.
And Erickson didn't make sure it got through the infield, especially when it was hit in front of him. Gabe O'Brien at the plate. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball.
You know, Rick, I'm going to say it again. I like to see the Cavs make this pitcher work. I really do.
So Garcia takes his lead over at first. 2 down. And the pitch. It's low for a ball.
That was a good job by the catcher there, keeping the ball in front of him. That was a great job.
Howling does a nice job of smothering the ball.
I mean, if that ball gets by him, we got a runner in scoring position. Now we don't.
2 balls, 1 strike, the 2-1 pitch. Foul back into the screen right in front of us.
I didn't flinch, Rick, did you?
I'm impressed with the lady that's off to your left here. She didn't flinch one bit. And that ball was kind of aiming right at her. She did a great job. Throw over to first. Garcia back in safely. And the pitch is low for a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We have traveling time with 2 down.
So the runner on first will be going on the pitch. That's an advantage to the Cavs.
That's why it's traveling time.
I'm going to say fastball here, Rick.
Here, Ginther looks in, runner goes. Line shot, foul down the first base line. That had extra bases written all over it, but it was about 2 feet too far to the right.
You know, with that runner going on the pitch, Rick, I say he scores easily on that.
Yeah, had that stayed fair and gotten down into the corner.
So we're going to do it all over again. Here we go, 3-2. Here's the pitch coming in.
Gabe O'Brien at the plate. High pop-up, left field fly ball, moving over is Bendixson, and he makes the catch. So the Cavaliers go down in the 5th inning, but they do pick up a run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. So we've completed 4.5, and it's the Cavaliers 3, Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
So we're back here at Cinder City Park. Rick Olson, Ben Ryder. I got it right that time. and Dan Petcho on the camera, Ann Monroe on the computer.
You know, Rick, if you never forget Ryder, as in the Ryder moving trucks, you'll never forget my name. Same spelling.
Okay.
Not trying to do a commercial for Ryder moving trucks.
No, because they haven't paid for any ads with us yet.
No, and if they did, we would charge them a lot of money, Rick.
Yes, we would have.
You know, this week, Rick has been saying, Ben Ryder, and in my... What I'm hearing is...
Stepping up to the plate is Matt Miller. Miller struck out his first time up. Lucas Costley starting his 5th inning of work. And it's a high fly ball out to right field. O'Brien under it, makes a catch.
You know, Rick, you like to see that one pitch, one out. You know, if we want this star pitcher for the Cavs to go, 6, 7, 8 innings, low pitch counts are good.
That's going to bring up Joel Zacco into the order for Quentin Gonzalez.
The shortstop, Joel Zacco.
You know, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, Rick, but pitching, the number of pitches, let's keep them low.
Costley delivers, and it's low for a ball. One ball, no strikes to Joel Zacco. And the pitch. That's a strike down Water Street, right down the middle of the plate. And the pitch. Just missed the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, Rick, these Bears are very disciplined at the plate, I must say that.
It's the reason that they're tied with the Cavaliers with 8 wins. And the pitch just missed outside.
I mean, Rick, these pitches aren't missing by much, and this batter has a really good eye.
3 balls, 1 strike to Joel Zacco. And the pitch. Strike called. Zacco thought he had ball 4, but Dick Smith said, no, son, you wait a minute. That's strike 2. So it's a full count now to Joel Zacco. And the pitch. Ground ball, foul down the third baseline.
You know, I think I jinxed him, Rick. I was talking about the pitch count, 1 pitch, 1 out earlier, and now he's thrown 7 pitches to this guy, and we're full again.
Costley looks in and delivers. Fly ball out into left field, falls in for a base hit. Zacco rounds first, and he's going to stay there.
Rick, if you're the batter here, do you bunt or do you just play it straight up?
Well, you're down by 3 now, and you're heading into the second half of the game. So I think you're not going to give up an out by laying down a sacrifice bunt. You need base runners here. And that one got the outside corner as Grant Preston is at the plate. He grounded over to Kapanke at first, who flipped it to Costley covering the first time. And the runner goes, throw to second, and they got him, I think. And they did.
Rick, that's just a heads-up play by the Cavaliers. Very heads-up play by the Cavaliers.
All of a sudden, he took off, and communication by the Cavaliers. Costley kind of got caught by surprise, spun around, fired it over to second, and they had him. So 2 down, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
I think you throw him a curveball here, Rick.
Yeah, you're up 0-2. I would agree. Costley delivers. And it's fouled off on the right side. It's going to fall out of play.
Just when I think curveball, Rick, he throws him a fastball.
That's why he's the pitcher, and we're sitting behind the screen talking about the game. That's why I could never hit the curveball anyway. So no balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Fastball fouled back into the screen.
Right in front of us.
You know, Rick, if my brother was here, he could help me. He was a catcher all his life, and I could talk to him, and he could give me some input on what the catcher calls and why he calls it, but he's not here.
And the pitch. High, pop up, foul territory.
That ball brought to you by Trimstone Services.
Straight back, and it went straight up. I wasn't sure how straight up and coming straight down it was going to be. I thought our new awning might be in trouble. And the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
There's my curveball, Rick. He got him on my curveball.
There you go. You've been waiting for that all day. So for the Bears, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. And we've played 5, and it's the Cavaliers 3 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
If I could be you, and you could be me, for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
The top of the 6th for the Cavaliers.
And other CRBL action after 4 innings. It's the Eau Claire Rivermen 4, the Beef River Bullfrogs 3. In other, like I said, CRBL action. Cooper Kapanke stepping to the plate for the Cavaliers. He grounded to short and popped to short. And the ball is inside. In fact, that one that the shortstop caught by Cooper was one that flew out of the glove of one of the other defenders. Pitch is low for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. There's the wind in the 2-0 pitch. It's outside for ball 3. Cavs on top, 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. That's a strike call. That's Ginther's get me over pitch. And the wind in the pitch. Kapanke hits a ground ball over to short, picked up by Zacco, throw over to first, and they're saying that he is safe.
I thought you pulled his foot.
He pulled his foot. That's going to be an error on Zacco on the throw. And Johnson's not very happy with the call. And now the umpires are going to talk about it.
You know, Rick, while the umpires are talking about it, I'd just like to thank our statistician, Kirk. He provides us many stats and updates from other CRBL games. Thank you, Kirk.
And they're saying he's safe. So that's going to be an error on Zacco at short for the wide throw over at first that pulled Johnson off the bag. And Kapanke is on with, well, he's at first base. Jack Redwine steps to the plate. Redwine is 1 for 2. He doubled in his first appearance. There's the pitch. Had a notion, but it's high for a ball. Ginther looks over at first and he delivers. That's a strike on the outside corner.
Any chance we see the base runner on first base steal, Rick?
Nope, not this one.
Okay.
It's not that Cooper's slow, but it's just base stealing is not in his forte. Fly ball out into center field, and it's gonna be caught out there. That's a second web gem that Preston has made out there in center field. Kapanke had to hustle back to first. He thought it was going to fall in.
As a base runner, Rick, you like to do that, though, in case the ball does fall in there. You got to be close enough to second where you can make it if he doesn't make
Well,
it.
and had it fallen in and he picked it up immediately, it was a pretty short throw to second. So if Kapanke only goes halfway, they probably would have got him. Brings up Xavier Bemnister. Bemnister is 0 for 1. He struck out looking, but also successfully put down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. 1 out. Pitch is inside. It's ball 2. Oh, they called it a strike. Dick Smith said, nope, that got the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bemnister batting .295 on the season.
And we have time called. And Dick Smith has something to say to Xavier.
I thought it was a strike, Rick, from my vantage point. Not sure if you thought it was high or low or inside or what, but I thought it was a strike.
Now, what is Dick Smith doing here? Ryan Bemnister talking with Xavier Bemnister, trying to calm him down. Xavier didn't like that call. And Dick Smith just looks at him and says, we're good now? And Xavier goes, yeah, we're good. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Cooper Kapanke at first. Here's the pitch. Soft looper and taken in by Johnson before it hits the ground. And Bemnister's not very happy.
Now batting is Cole Timon, batting .220 on the season.
And he is 1 for 2. Singled his first time up and then grounded to short. 2 down. Curveball. Boy, you could really see that one break, but it was high.
You know, Rick, getting back to that last batter, you never want to show up the umpire when you're at bat or in the field, and that got corrected quickly.
The 1-0 pitch, high pop-up, foul territory, and out of play.
You know, Dick Smith is a veteran umpire, and he's not going to put up with anything. And you're passionate, you're a ball player, you want to win the game.
But he's also going to give him a chance to settle down, and he understands the passion that players have as well.
And, you know, I get both sides of it, Rick. I get both sides of it.
1-1 to Timon. And it's outside for a ball.
You know, as a player back in my day, I liked a veteran umpire because you just knew where you stood, you knew where he stood. Everything was easy for you.
Ginther delivers, and I don't think that got Timon because the runner heads down to second. It was inside. The sound we heard was it coming off the catcher's glove.
So as a Cavalier fan, you like this. You got a runner in scoring position. Yeah, you got 2 outs, but you like to have a runner in scoring position. Puts a little more pressure on the defense, a little more pressure on the pitcher, and we'll see what the Cavs do here.
So Kapanke's at second. 3-1 pitch outside, ball 4.
You know, you like to see this, Rick. They're making that pitcher work, and you like to see it as a Cavalier fan. You like to see him make that pitcher work.
That's only the first walk given up by Ginther.
You know, as a Cavs fan, you like to see this guy come up to bat. Campbell Kapanke batting .330 on the season. This is the guy, in my opinion, you want to see up to bat right here. Let's see what he can do.
He's 1 for 2, singled to right his last time up, and eventually scored. Here's the pitch. Fly ball out of play.
You know, Rick, he was right on that one. Just a little bit late. You like to see these Cavs making this pitcher work. I like to see it, Rick.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that inside curveball. Strike 2.
You know, that's a good pitch, Rick. It's inside. It's a strike. He's not going to do anything with that ball.
No, you're right. He's had he taken that, it would have been a called strike. Here's the pitch. Down low for a ball. Gets past Holling, and over to third goes Kapanke.
You know, as a Cavs fan, you like to see that. Ball gets by the catcher. Base runners hustling. Puts more pressure on the Bears. You like to see that. Let's keep the foot on the gas pedal, and let's not let up here, Rick.
Jalen Pascal, by the way, is the courtesy runner out there for Cole Timon. He's out at second now on that pass ball, or on that wild pitch. So we got Kopenke on third, Pascal at second.
And don't forget about Kopenke at
the plate. That's right. And he follows that one into the screen. 2-2 is the count with 2 down.
And Cooper has some words of encouragement for his brother at the plate. We'll see if he can get him in. Boy, would that be nice to see here.
Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 on. And the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball out into left field, and it's right at Bendixson. I don't think he moved more than 1 step. And so the Cavaliers go down with no runs on no hits. There was 1 Bears error, and 2 were left on base. So we've completed 5.5, and it's the Cavaliers 3 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Ready for a better way to bank? Switch to Royal Credit Union. Royal Credit Union is a financial co-op, not a corporation, so we return earnings to our members. That means you get low or no fees for account services and better rates on deposits and loans. You'll also have all the digital tools you need at your fingertips, so managing your account is easy. Royal is ready to help you discover the credit union difference. Switch to Royal Credit Union today at rcu.org/difference. Insured by NCUA.
Back here at Cinder City Park. Lucas Costley to start his 6th inning of work.
Off air here, Rick and I were commenting to each other. The Bears seem fired up offensively because of what they just did defensively.
And a couple of frustrating at-bats for the Cavaliers. Could be a momentum change thing, although the Cavaliers are on top 3-0.
You know, all it could take, Rick, would be one thing here to change this game. That inning, it could have been easily 5-0. Instead, that left fielder catches the ball, nobody scores, and it's 3-0. That was huge for the Eau Claire Bears.
So, leading off top of the order for the Bears, Nate Kent. And he's 1 for 2. By the way, the stadium announcer here at Cinder City Park ought to be a familiar voice to Cavalier fans because it's also Steve Kent who does the Cavs games at Carson Park. And the first pitch is a called strike to Nate Kent. And it happens to be Nate Kent's father. Ground ball to Cooper Kopenke at first, and he steps on the bag for the out. So Nate Kent grounds out to the first baseman unassisted, brings up the pitcher Hunter Ginther.
You like to see that, Rick. First baseman Cooper Kopenke stayed down, fundamentally looks solid there. You like to stay in front of the ball like that. Great play.
Ginther's 0 for 2. Popped to short and then hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice. And the pitch to Ginther, and it's laced foul off the right side. Boy, there's a young man who was setting up their chairs over here before the game, and he was talking about, maybe I don't want to go chase foul. He hasn't been able to sit yet. He's been chasing foul balls. Foul ball this time on the left side, just down the third base line.
Well, we've got to the 6th inning. Rick thought this kid could go 6. I'm going to say he could go 7 or 8 if he keeps pitching like this.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be overly stressed. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch just missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Was that a ball, Rick, or was that a strike?
I think it was just a hair outside, but it wasn't missing by much. And it's a chopper out to short. Fielded by Vance. Throw over to first, and he's safe. It pulled Kopenke off the bag. It was a high throw by Vance. Pulls Kopenke off the bag, and so That's going to be an error on the shortstop.
You know, that's a tough one, Rick. That was an in-between hop that he took that on. You like to see him charge that, but on the other hand, that was a tough play to make, Rick.
Ball was there in time, but it just made Kapanke, who's plenty tall, he had to go up and get it. Check swing foul back into the screen.
You know, now the Bears are making the Cavs pitcher work, and as a Cavs fan, I don't like to see that.
And Blake Johnson at the plate. Johnson's 1 for 2, doubled, struck out. Throw over to first. Ginther back. And the pitch, that one's high. It was a breaking ball that didn't come down. 1 ball, 1 strike to Blake Johnson. Costley looks in and delivers. That's a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike.
Cavs are making this pitcher work. Very good discipline at the plate by the Bears.
Costley looks in and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first in Hunter Ginther. And the 2-2 pitch. High pop foul out of play.
You know, that's a good piece of hitting there by the batter. You got to protect the plate. You got 2 strikes. That's a great piece of hitting by this batter.
And the pitch. Fly ball out into left field. Heading back is Campbell Kapanke. Reaches up and makes the catch. Out in deep left field.
And the runner not even attempting to tag. He was halfway to second, and he trots back to first.
Well, he did what he had to that time. He went halfway because if that was over Kapanke's head, he scores. But, yeah, so that meant that tagging wasn't going to be an issue. You know, my rule of thumb is if you're on second or third and a fly ball, you stand on that base. So as soon as it's caught, you're off. And the pitch is inside to Joe Holling. Holling is 1 for 2, singled to right his last time up. 2 down, runner on first in Hunter Ginther. Costley delivers. Line shot, ground ball, picked up, flipped to second, and they got him! Jackson Vance dives for it and flips it over to Erickson at second in time for the putout. So Holling grounds into a fielder's choice, 6-4, and the Cavs get the Bears out of the inning with no runs, no hits, 1 Cavalier error, and 1 left on base. We've played 6, and it's the Cavaliers 3 and the Bears nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. For free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
In at the top of the 7th for the Cavaliers, shortstop Jackson Vance.
So leading off for the Cavaliers as we head into the top of the 2nd is Jackson Vance. He'll be followed by Caden Erickson and Josh Garcia. Cavs leading heading into the 7th inning, 3-0. So far for the Cavaliers, 3 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Ground ball back up the middle, takes a high hop off the mound, and that's going to be a base hit for Vance. It hit everything in that infield except a player's glove.
Batter doing a great job, hustling down to first base all the way. Great job by the Cavs. That's great hustle. You like to see that.
So that's going to bring up our Geno's player of the game, Caden Erickson. And hey, folks, I forgot to mention it when it happened, but back in the 3rd inning, Caden Erickson scored. And guess what that means? Tomorrow, when you go out to Geno's and you mention Caden's name, you get a free appetizer for your table, courtesy of Caden Erickson. Here's the pitch, low for a ball.
I apologize on that, Rick. That's totally my fault. I had you distracted. I did some off-air stuff. Thank you for explaining that.
I should have mentioned it when it happened. Here's the pitch. Soft looper in the infield and taken in by Johnson at first base.
Looked like he handcuffed him there, Rick. Just a inside-out swing. Didn't get the job done. We'll see what the next batter here does.
Yeah, it was one of those where Erickson's just trying to get a piece of the ball, hoping to foul it off, but instead he popped it straight up in the air, and Johnson moved over and made the catch. So Josh Garcia, 0 for 3.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Josh could get going here. 0 for 3, you know, I'd like to see him do something here. Let's go, Josh.
1 ball, no strikes. By the way, that's the first time Erickson's been retired today. Throw over to first. And back in safely is Jackson Vance.
You know, that leadoff batter, Caden Erickson doing his job as a leadoff batter. Your job is to get on base.
He's 3 for 4 today. Vance goes. Pitches a strike, and Vance has the stolen base.
You know, Rick, that's just a tough pitch to steal on. It's a hanging curveball. No chance by the catcher.
Yeah, it's defensively a tough pitch to have them steal on. So Jackson Vance now on second with 1 out. Garcia grounds it over towards short, and it gets through into right field. Rounding third is Vance coming in to score, and heading over to second, Garcia, and they missed the throw. Garcia's safe at second.
You know, Rick, that just shows you what being aggressive can do for a team. I like the Cavs tonight, how aggressive they are. The coach seems to be pushing all the right buttons. Rick, as a fan and an announcer, you like to see this.
Now, Garcia's going to get credit for a base hit as Chevy Tollefson makes a trip to the mound. A base hit, and then he advances to second on the play toward the plate.
Rick, if you're the manager, Chevy Tollefson, what are you telling your pitcher here in this situation?
Just throw strikes. Settle down. Keep an eye on the runner at second. Don't let him get to third, but just throw strikes. All you got to do is throw strikes. You have players playing behind you. That's the one thing that pitchers oftentimes need to get reminded of, because they get frustrated because of situations that happen in the game, and it gets their mind off of what their task is. And it's just that trip to the mound by Chevy Tollefson was just to settle the pitcher and get him to throw strikes. And hopefully he grooves one right here for Gabe O'Brien, with Josh Garcia on second. And it's a strike called on the outside corner to O'Brien.
We have an upset in the making. After 5 innings, Eau Claire Rivermen 4, Beef River Bullfrogs 6 after 5 innings.
And a pitch down low for a ball. That would help the Cavaliers quite a bit if Beef River can hang on in that game, because the Rivermen are only a half a game behind the Bears and the Cavaliers.
Yeah, when I saw that come across my phone on my screen, I did a double take, and that score is...
Fly ball out into right field. That one's way back, and caught right near the warning track. Tagging and advancing to third is Josh Garcia.
Basic fundamentals by the Cavaliers. Outfielder catches the ball. The base runner tags from second to third. You like to see that.
And basically what he did was the right thing. Fly ball like that, that was either going to be a home run or an out. And so he stood on second. As soon as the ball was caught, he could take off for third. Cooper Kapanke at the plate. Swing and a miss. Big swing by Cooper that time.
We would like the insurance run here. We'll see what happens.
Here's the pitch. And it's a strike called on the outside corner. So Cooper swung at one and watched one. Now he's got to hit one. Here's the wind by Ginther, and the pitch fouls it back into the screen. He hit it just the wrong way.
You got a guy on third here, Rick. You'd like to get him in. It's getting late in the game. That fifth run would be huge here, Rick.
On the grass in the outfield would be a really nice thing right now. The 0-2 pitch. It's low for a ball.
Good stop by the catcher. That ball could have gotten by him. That could have got our run in. Good job by the catcher.
Cavs up 4-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Kapanke goes down swinging.
Great job by
But the Cavaliers pick up one run on one hit. There were no errors and one left on base. So we've completed 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Lucas Costley takes to the hill for the 7th inning. Just threw a warm-up pitch in the dirt. Bounced over Timon's head.
I'm going to say, Rick, if he has an efficient inning here, he's going to come out for the 8th. If he doesn't have an efficient inning, he's not going to.
The Cavs do have some activity going on down in the bullpen. I cannot see who it is. He's got a warm-up jacket on, so I can't tell who's out there.
I'm going to say the Cavs are going to let this guy pitch as long as he's able, and I'm going to say he's going to go 8. We'll see what happens.
Well, Lucas Costley starting the 7th, facing Todd Lasher. Lasher's 0 for 2. Struck out and fouled out to Kapanke. Here's the pitch. High chopper over to short. Vance fires to first, and he sent that one into Sheboygan. I think that one landed somewhere in the middle of Lake Altoona, actually. So that's going to be an error on Vance.
Cooper's tall, but he's not that tall, Rick.
Not even close. That's the 3rd error by the Cavaliers. And the pitch. First pitch to Bendixson was a ball. Bendixson shows bunt. He bunts it down the first base side. Picked up by Costley, throw over to first. And it hit the base runner, and he's out because he was on the fair side of the baseline. And so Chevy Tollefson coming out to argue with him, and they are nose to nose. This is a totally legitimate rhubarb. And he just got tossed. Chevy Tollefson just got tossed out of the game.
Rick, I didn't catch what he said, but the body language looked like he deserved it.
Yeah, there was some very specific body language there, too, as a matter of fact. But the ruling on the play, and the runner has to go back to second. It's the fair bunt. Costley picked it up, threw it towards Kapanke, but it went off the runner who was on the fair side of the baseline, which makes him out.
So basically,
and it's a dead ball at that point.
That's what I was going to ask you, Rick. Basically, at that point, it's a dead ball.
And the runner had to go back. Now, I think the third base coach for the Bears is trying to see if they can't have third on that, because he probably was breaking for third because it was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt.
You know, as a Cavs fan, that's a huge break. Runner stays at second. Nobody advances. We got the out, and that's a real break for the Cavs, and you like to see that as a Cavs fan.
So,
Second baseman Matt Miller.
So, runner interference is the call. Runner holds at second, and Matt Miller comes to the plate. And Tollefson was ejected, but I still see him over there by the dugout. And I think if you're ejected, you have to leave the dugout area. And now Dick Smith is heading towards the dugout. No, that isn't Tollefson that I was looking at. But he's talking to people on the bench, telling them to be quiet.
You know, as an umpire, you got to take charge of this game, and that's exactly what Dick Smith is doing.
So, 1 out. Runner on second. Cavs up 4-0. Costley looking in for the sign. Takes a look at second. And he delivers. Squaring to bunt. Ground ball. Costley throws over to first, and they got him at first. And the runner is safe at third.
You know, Rick, I'm questioning the strategy of the Bears. Maybe they know something I don't know. You're down by 4 runs. As a Cavs fan, you'll gladly trade the out for the runner advancing to third.
Yeah, when you're up by 4, you're absolutely right. In fact, you're probably going to see the Cavalier defensively playing routine depth and go ahead and sacrifice the run for the out. 2 down. That's going to bring Joel Zacco. And the pitch is low. Zacco singled his last time up.
Rick, do you see the Cavs pitcher starting to wear out, or does he look strong to you?
He looks fine. He's still throwing hard. And the pitch. There's a strike over the outside corner. He's still hitting his spots. Costley looking in, and he delivers. Ground ball through the hole. Bears are going to score a run. Zacco singles. He's 2 for 2. As Todd Lasher comes in to score.
You know, as a Cavalier fan, I'm okay. It's 4-1. It's the 7th inning. The pitcher looks strong, as Rick alluded to earlier. As a Cavs fan, I'm okay right now.
Grant Preston at the plate. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. Preston is 0 for 2, grounded to Kapanke, who tossed to Costley covering, and also struck out. Fly ball out into left field. Drifting back is Campbell Kapanke, and it's out of here. A 2-run home run.
As a Bears fan, you're happy right now. You're back in the game. It's 4-3, and that looked like that's the spark the Bears needed. That home run.
And out to the mound comes Ryan Bemnister. Cavs on top, 4-3.
And Rick, wow, how things can change in a hurry. We were up 4-0. Now it's 4-3. Cavs having a conference at the mound. You know, as a fan, either team, it's what you like to see, a close competitive ball game.
And they're going to leave Costley in.
We got 2 outs. We got nobody on base. Let's just get the runner and get in there and get some more runs.
So Nate Kent comes to the plate. The leadoff hitter. He's 1 for 3. And the pitch just missed outside. And that one also missed for a ball. By the way, that home run is the first one given up by Costley this year. Here's the pitch. Strike called.
It appeared the batter was taking the whole way, and I don't blame him. You know, if you're the Bears, you want to make this pitcher work very hard, and that's what they're doing. They're making him work very hard.
Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. By the way, all 3 of these runs by the Bears are unearned runs. Here's the pitch. And it's ball 4. That didn't miss by very much. So the tying run's on first. And Hunter Ginther comes to the plate. Ginther is 0 for 3.
Pitcher, Hunter Ginther.
Got out on an error by Jackson Vance his last time up. Vance airmailed one to Kapanke. Here's the pitch. Ground ball into the Bears dugout area. No balls and 1 strike to Ginther. And the pitch. Almost got the outside corner, just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the runner on first steal second.
No, he's the tying runner. You're right. Bluffs the move, swing and a miss for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This would be the pitch to go on. Kent takes his lead. Costley delivers. That's in the dirt, gets past Timon, and down to second goes Nate Kent.
Runner at second, if you're the Cavs, you have to be extremely careful on this. You don't want them to tie up the game. It's 4-3. Let's just get out of this inning, Rick.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Costley looking in, checks at second, and delivers. Line shot out into right field. That's going to tie the game. O'Brien picks it up, but not in time to be able to make any kind of a play.
You know, Rick, sometimes when a manager gets ejected, it can fire the team up. And in this case, I think when Chevy Tollefson, entering his last season before he retires, I think when he got tossed, I think that fired the team up.
I think you might be right. We are tied, and we're going to have a pitching change. And we'll get all that information right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Back here at Cinder City Park, new pitcher for the Cavaliers is Andrew Milner.
And I'll give you Andrew Milner's stats. His ERA is 3.41, innings pitched 34.1, hits 28, runs 24, earned runs 13, base on balls 25, and 53 strikeouts for Andrew Milner.
And Lucas Costley today went 6 2/3. Gave up 4 runs, but only one of those was earned on 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, and he only walked 1. Blake Johnson at the plate. Hits a pop-up, and it's going to be caught out there by Caden Erickson.
So we have 1 pitch and we have 1 out.
So we're finally out of that inning, but not before we get 4 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Cavalier error and 1 left on base. So we've completed 7, and we're all tied at 4 from Cinder City Park in Altoona on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the River City Rough Riders from Simpson Field on the UW Eau Claire campus. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 2:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in. Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Back here at Cinder City Park, new pitcher for the Bears is Joel Zacco. And the first pitch is a called strike. And that means that there's going to be some other fielding changes for the Bears as well. Pitch is outside to Redwine. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to see who's out at. Is Ginther playing shortstop? High pop up. Moving in. And making the catch is Nate Kent. And yes, Hunter Ginther is playing out at shortstop, so they just switched.
Ryan Bemnister.
So Ginther moves from pitcher to shortstop, and the shortstop, Zacco, moves to pitcher.
We have a score update. After 7 innings, Eau Claire Rivermen 4, Beef River Bulldogs 7. Thank you, Kirk.
And at the plate is Xavier Bemnister. Xavier is 0 for 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Xavier. We're all tied. Pitch is outside corner for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, the Bears have the momentum. It'd be nice to get it back if you're a Cavs fan.
Zacco Winds and fires, check swing, it's low. Oh, and the base umpire says he went. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zacco looks in, and he winds, and the 2-2 pitch. That's low and away for a ball. Count is full now. Cavs need to put some runners on.
You set them all full there, Rick.
1-0. Zacco winds, and the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss at an outside pitch.
I think that might have been ball 4, Rick. I'm not
I
sure.
think you're right. That's going to bring up Cole Timon with 2 outs. Timon is 1 for 2. He also drew a walk.
Clearly the Bears have all the momentum. It'd be nice for the Cavs to do something here to get the momentum back.
There's the wind in the pitch. Outside for a ball.
You know, if you're the Cavs, you just got to be patient. We had the lead once, and we can get the lead again.
Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Way back, way back, way back. It's off the fence. Timon is going to check into second base, maybe. And they got him. They got Timon at second.
Not sure if he went on his own or if he was sent by his coach, but either way, he's out.
And it was at the base of the fence. So they got Timon at second, and the Cavs go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 7.5, and we're still tied at 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
We're back here at Cinder City Park.
You know, 2 outs there, Rick. Cavs just trying to make something happen. Guy hustles for second, just doesn't get there in time. Great throw.
It took a perfect throw, and that's how they got Timon at second. So due up for the Bears, Joe Holling, Todd Lasher, and Mitch Bendixson. Holling is 1 for 3 today.
You know, as a Cavs fan, it would be nice to see 3 up, 3 down here, break the Bears' momentum, get up there in the 9th inning and get some runs.
Timon gets his gear on and heads out. Milner on the mound. He threw to 1 hitter. Now threw it back into the backstop. That's like that scene out of Bull Durham where Kevin Costner tells the kid to hit the mascot. Nobody's going to stand in on you if you hit the mascot. Show a little wildness. So, leading off for the Bears, Joe Holling. Holling is 1 for 3. He singled, grounded back to the pitcher, and grounded into a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch. Pop foul out of play. By the way, the numbers on Hunter Ginther, he went 7 innings, gave up 4 runs, all of which were earned on 8 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. Here's the pitch. Missed for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Joe Holling. And the pitch. Ground ball over to short. Jackson Vance throws to first. This one's on target.
As a Cavs fan, you like to see that. Got in front of the ball, fielded it cleanly, threw to first base.
And what I like to see is he did not airmail it to first. He put a strike right over to Cooper Kapanke.
And that'll get your confidence back fast as an infielder.
Todd Lasher is at the plate. Lasher is 0 for 3, and the first pitch is a called strike on the inside corner.
You know, I like that pitch inside. He's not doing a thing with that pitch.
Lasher struck out, fouled out to Kapanke, and then got on an air by Vance when he airmailed one. And we got a bench warning being given. Bench warning given to the Bears.
I didn't quite catch that, Rick. Did you?
Yeah, evidently some things were being set out of the dugout. And here's the pitch. Check swing outside for a ball.
We all know how that usually goes, Rick. They usually toss the best player, so if they don't catch who it is, they usually just toss the best player.
And here's the pitch. Strike called at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Here's the wind and the pitch. Foul back into the screen.
You know, you like to see this as a Cavs fan. They're not giving up. They were up 4-0. Now it's tied 4-4. They're not giving up, Rick. You like to see this.
One ball and 2 strikes to Todd Lasher. Milner delivers. That pitch is inside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, I think that's a good waste pitch, Rick. I'm okay with that pitch. That's a good waste pitch.
And the wind in the 2-2 pitch. That was also inside. Count goes full, 3-2. Milner trying to get that inside corner. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that's low and inside, ball 4.
So you got 1 out. You got a guy on first base. Rick, does this guy have any speed at first base?
I don't know.
You know, judging by looking at him, no, but they're putting in a pinch runner, so maybe that's why they're putting a pinch runner in there.
Yeah, I would say. And I'm looking to see.
I'm going to say this pinch runner's going to steal. That's my prediction.
I didn't catch the name as they announced it. Oh, Justin Comferman, I believe is what he said. And they're saying that's a courtesy runner. I don't think that Lasher is entitled to a courtesy runner. I think it's a pinch runner.
Well, we're going to see what happens here, Rick.
So Comferman on first, and the pitch. And it's a strike called.
You like to see that?
This is to Todd Bendixson.
Guy on first base. Go after him right away, Rick. You like to see that.
Bendixson is the one that was out on the runner interference his last time up. Here's the pitch. Just missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So the Bears are playing it a bit conservative. A decent lead, nothing special by the guy at first, and he doesn't look like he's going to steal.
Now he bluffed it, and the pitch is inside. Now, Milner's a left-handed hitter, so the left-handed hitter is going to catch it out of the corner of his eye if the runner bluffs a move to second, which can throw the pitch off. Milner at the stretch, and delivers. Swing and a miss for a strike.
Yeah, Rick, when I played baseball, if the pitcher was left-handed, if I was on first base, it was real tough for me because the guy's a left-hander, and it's just tough.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the pitch. Strike 3 called.
You know, Rick, that out is huge. We've got 2 outs. Now the defensive players for the Cavs can go back to their normal depth. And easiest bag, first or second, and we're right back in there to hit.
Matt Miller steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2, and he also has a sacrifice bunt. And the pitch, strike called on the inside corner.
You like to see that? He's ahead of the count, 0-1 right away. As a Cavs fan, you like to see that.
Matt Miller is also the victim of a strikeout his first time up. And the pitch. It's inside for a ball. Runner goes down, throw to second, and they don't get him.
So we've got a runner in scoring position, and we're going to see what happens here, Rick.
So 1 ball, 1 strike now. And Miller is going to come in on a re-entry. Or not Miller, but check that. Lasher back in on a re-entry. And the pitch. Strike 2 called.
Great job of pitching there. Great job of pitching there.
Milner at the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Chased the high fastball.
Great job by the Cavs to get out of the inning. Great job.
No runs on, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've played 8. We head to the 9th, and we're all tied at 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the St. Louis Park, Minnesota Pirates from Carson Park. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 4:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
So we head to the 9th inning, all tied up at 4. Cavs scored the first 4. Bears scored the second 4, and we're going to see who scores the next run because that could do it in this one. So we go to the 9th inning, due up for the Cavaliers. We have Campbell Kapanke, Jackson Vance, and our Geno's player of the game, Caden Erickson, who made sure everybody got appetizers out at Geno's tomorrow.
We're going to see what the Cavs are made out of right here. Last inning, we're tied. We're going to see what the Cavs are made out of right here.
Joel Zacco on the mound to start his second inning of work. And Campbell Kapanke comes to the plate. Campbell's 1 for 3, struck out, singled to right, and flew out to left. That fly out to left was hit hard, but right at the left fielder, Bendixson.
You're the Cavs, you're just looking for a base runner here.
First pitch is a strike called. And the pitch. That's in the dirt for a ball.
Rick, I'll take a walk. As they say, get on any way you can.
Here's the wind and the 1-1 pitch. Chopped foul right down the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You got to protect here, Rick. You don't want to go down striking out. You want to put the ball in play. And,
here's where Ryan Bemnister likes to see them choke up a little bit, increase their strike zone, and protect the dish. And the pitch. That's low for a ball.
Give him a curveball in the dirt low.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There's the wind and the 2-2 pitch. Inside. Count goes full to Campbell Kapanke. He had a notion on that one. He almost chased it, but he didn't. There's the wind and the payoff pitch. Fly ball out into left center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Kapanke rounds first, but he's going to hold there.
That's a great piece of hitting there, Rick. He just was patient. He stayed back on the ball, and he drove it to left field. That was a great piece of hitting.
And that's going to bring up Jackson Vance.
Shortstop, Jackson Vance.
Vance is 1 for 2, got on an infield hit. He also grounded to second and hit us into a sacrifice bunt. Vance shows bunt and doesn't offer for a ball.
I think you bunt here, and so does the first baseman, and so does the third baseman based on where
they were charging. Yes, they were. Vance squares and called strike on the outside corner. Vance did not offer, but it was a pitch over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw over to first, and Kapanke back in safely. Here's the pitch. Well, pretty soon. Now it comes. Squares the bunt. Bunts it down the first base side. Throw over to first, and they got Vance, but the sacrifice is complete.
So he does his job. It's nice to see the runner at second. We got 1 out, and this is what you play for. You play for 1 run, and we hope we can hold him.
That's the second sacrifice bunt of the day for Jackson Vance, and we've got a trip to the mound.
Rick, if you're the...
and we have a pitching change going on, so we'll get all that information right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
New rump on the bump for the Bears is Quentin Gonzalez, has been a very effective pitcher for them this year. The numbers for Joel Zacco, he went 1 1/3 innings, didn't give up any runs, although he is responsible for the runner at second. He gave up 1 hit and struck out 1. So,
you know, Rick, I can't explain to you how much confidence this win tonight would give the Cavs.
Absolutely, but they've got to get it first. So Gonzalez finishing up his warm-up tosses. Like I said, he's been very effective.
Now batting for the Cavaliers, second baseman, Caden Erickson.
Caden Erickson, our Geno's player of the game. Erickson's 3 for 4 today. He has singled twice, doubled once. Pitch is outside for a ball.
It's a great save by the catcher there. If he doesn't save that, on third.
Vance is on third, or not Vance, Kapanke, whoever it is out there. Kapanke's on third. And the pitch is outside for a ball.
That was the same pitch as the last one, very much outside. Not sure what's
just
going on
about
there.
In the same area. He's trying to get that big sweeping curveball to come in, but it's missing outside. 2-0 pitch. Foul down the third baseline. Caden Erickson scored back in the third inning, and since he's our Geno's player of the game, when you go out to Geno's tomorrow, mention Caden's name, you get a free appetizer for your table. Swing and a miss, strike 2, balls in the dirt.
You know, Rick, we got what we want. We got our leadoff hitter up to bat. We're sitting good.
And Ann goes, and we got our appetizer.
Well, what's more important, Ann? Probably the appetizer, I suppose.
Set your priorities, baby.
And the pitch. Line shot over to short, and he bobbles the ball, throws it over to first, and they got Erickson at first. But Kapanke goes over to third.
So now you got to be real careful. We got 2 outs, a wild pitch. Could score a run. He's on third. We'll see what happens, Rick.
Josh Garcia at the plate. And Garcia is 1 for 4. He singled his last time up and ended up on second with the play at the plate.
Garcia batting .264 on the year.
He also flew out to right, grounded to the pitcher, or to the first baseman, and the first pitch is called strike, and grounded into a fielder's choice, shortstop to third. Gonzalez looking in. And the 0-1 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 2.
You know, Rick, I'm going to say he's just going to keep pumping the heat. Why not go after him if you're the pitcher for the Bears?
Garcia waiting for the pitch. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner on third. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Just like I thought.
And the Cavs go down in the 9th. With no runs on 1 hit, there were no errors and 1 left on base. So we've played 8.5. We go to the bottom of the 9th. We're all tied at 4 from Cinder City Park in Altoona on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Back here at Cinder City Park, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th with the score all knotted up at 4. Cavaliers trying very hard not to give a walk-off to the Bears. Andrew Milner on the mound. And stepping up to the plate is Quentin Gonzalez re-enters into the lineup. So when he was in before, he grounded to short. First pitch was a strike. Here's the wind and the pitch. High chopper to Erickson at second. Throw over to first in time.
You like that, Rick? 1 pitch, 1 out. As a Cavs fan, you like to see that.
Grant Preston steps to the plate. And Preston, so far as the difference in this game, hit a 2-run home run back in the 7th inning.
Yeah, Rick, you want to be careful with this guy.
That 2-run homer brought the Bears to within 1. First pitch is a ball. Milner's pitch swung on a miss, strike 1. We're even at 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
He's going after him, Rick. You like to see that.
Milner is the pitcher of record for the Cavaliers. Costley won't take the win or the loss because the game is tied. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. That's outside for a ball. Tried to get him to chase that outside pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Just missed high and outside. Count is full now. to Grant Preston. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That's a big out. That's a big out, Rick. That's all I can say. That out is huge.
2 down in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brings up the top of the order Nate Kent, and Kent is 1 for 3. He singled to center field. He also grounded to first and flew out to left and drew a walk and eventually scored the tying run.
The catcher for the Cavaliers looks like he's adjusting his equipment. We got 2 outs. If you're the Cavs, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. You got 2 outs. Take a deep breath, play good defense, and let's get back up there so we can bat.
I think we might have some action starting down in the Cavalier bullpen, but I'm not sure yet.
Looks like they're stretching, Rick. No ball being thrown down there. It looks like they're just down there stretching and having a conversation. But they're definitely on standby, Rick, down there.
First pitch was a strike.
Getting ready for the 10th.
And the pitch. Check swing.
We've got a score update. After 9 innings, Eau Claire Rivermen 7, Beef River Bulldogs 7.
Bullfrogs.
Bullfrogs, my bad. We're going to extra innings, Rick.
So they're tied up with extras, and we have a called strike. 1-2 now is the count to Nate Kent. And we might be heading for extras if the Cavaliers can get this final strike on Nate Kent. Here's the wind and the pitch. High chopper foul. Back to the screen.
And Rick, as a Cavalier fan, I don't need to remind anybody, you are definitely a Beef River Bullfrog fan tonight.
One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Yes! He says he went.
From my vantage point, Rick, it looked like he definitely went. I agree with the call. Great call by the umpire.
And it was appealed down to the first base ump, and he said, yes, he went. And so the Bears go down in the 9th with no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 9, and we haven't reached a decision yet. Tied at 4. We get bonus baseball tonight on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Alvo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Let NLWN-2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 15th, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the River City Rough Riders from Simpson Field on the UW Eau Claire campus. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 2:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, July 15th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Gabe O'Brien leads off the top of the 10th for the Cavaliers. And the first pitch is a called strike from Quentin Gonzalez. You know, that talk about Eau Claire Cowboy football on NLWN-2 feels like a football weather tonight. And, boy, that's a big game coming up on Saturday. Pitch is fouled off out of play. That's a battle for first place in the Northern Lights Football League Northwest Division. So that'll be a pretty interesting one to keep an eye on. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch is low for a ball.
You know, as a Cavalier hitter, you got to be patient, and you got to try to get on base.
Gabe O'Brien at the plate. 0 for 3. Swung on a miss. Make that 0 for 4. Cooper Kapanke coming up.
Cooper's batting .377 on the year.
And that's going to drop down a little bit today because he's 0 for 4. But he can rectify that by getting on base right here. Swing and a miss for strike one.
You know, Cooper's been around a long time. I think these guys definitely know how to pitch him.
Quentin Gonzalez working that outside edge. Here's the pitch. Cooper follows it back into the screen, 0-2.
I'm going to say fastball here. We'll see what he does.
That's what he's been relying on. Although he's setting up for the curve. Swing and a miss, strike three. A three-pitch strikeout to Cooper Kapanke.
You know, this pitcher for the Bears, he just seems to get stronger as he goes. I hate to say it, but...
He's only gone he went 2/3 of an inning, and now he's gone another 2/3. Jack Redwine steps up. And the pitch. That's a called strike at the knees.
It's a good pitch by the Eau Claire Bears pitcher.
Quentin Gonzalez, been very effective for them this year. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two. He throws that fastball right past him.
That's his bread and butter, Rick.
And the pitch. That's outside for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jack Redwine. And it's a strike 3 called at the knees. So Gonzalez strikes out the side. In fact, he's struck out the last 4 hitters of the Cavaliers. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And we've played 9.5. We go to the bottom of the 10th, still all knotted at 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Back here at Cinder City Park in Altoona, we're all tied at 4. Rick Olson, Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Dan Petschow bringing you all the action of a pretty good ball game.
You know, I want to thank you, Rick. This is my broadcasting debut. Been a childhood dream of mine. Thank you for making my dream come true, buddy.
Hey, no problem. We're glad to have you on board.
You know, we talked earlier, and I pinched myself right after you asked me to do this, and dreams do come true. Thank you very much, Rick.
It's all about coming out and having some fun at the ballpark.
Are you having fun, Ben?
To answer your question, Ann, yes, I'm having fun. I hope I can do it again Saturday.
Well, I'm kind of expecting you to be there Saturday, so. All right. Leadoff hitter takes one high for a ball. That's Hunter Ginther playing shortstop. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, as a Bears player, you've just got to get on base and manufacture a run, and you win the game.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
And as a Cavs player, you just want to throw strikes if you're the pitcher and make your defense do the work.
Now it's a good time to throw one past. Just a bit high. Tried to get Ginther to chase that high heat. Hunter didn't bite.
I'm going to say fastball here, Rick. We'll see what happens.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's what happened.
He blew it by him just like I predicted. You know, a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while, Rick.
Even with that big fluffy tail and everything, right?
That is correct, Rick.
Blake Johnson, he's 1 for 4, doubled, but then struck out, flew out, and popped out. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
You know, I'm liking this, Rick. He's just pumping the fastballs, and he's relying on his defense. I'm liking this.
Andrew Milner on the mound. He winds and fires. High foul off on the right side.
As if that young kid doesn't have enough exercise tonight. There he goes again, Rick.
You know, if this were the major leagues and he was keeping all those, he'd have a whole bag full of balls right now.
Yes, he would, Rick.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Fly ball out into right center field. That's going to find the wall. Throw coming into second. And they got him at second.
They got him at second base. That is a great throw, great communication by the Cavs. That's great talk out there. And, Rick, that is a huge momentum boost for the Cavs.
And a little bit of turnabout's fair play, too, because the Bears did the same thing to Cole Timon an inning ago. And so...
Rick, I am not here to argue with you.
Now, if the Cavs can just finish off the turnabout's fair play. High pop-up out of play behind the plate. Joe Holling at the plate. 2 down.
If you're a fan, you definitely got your money's worth tonight, Rick.
Yeah, you did. And the pitch. And it's a foul at the plate.
And if you are me making your broadcasting debut, you had plenty of practice.
You even got a little extra practice.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Fouled away, count's going to hold if it stays fair, and that stayed in play and caught by Cooper Kapanke out there for the 3rd out.
And that's great talk, Rick, by the Cavaliers dugout. They said you got room, and that's great talk and communication by the Cavs.
So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the 11th, still knotted at 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in. Don't make an exception when it comes to driving.
And we're back here at Cinder City Park. Ground ball by Xavier Bemnister over to short. Throw over to first in time for the out.
As a Bears pitcher, that's what you want to see. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Cole Timon steps to the plate. By the way, CRBL action. It was the Tilden Tigers over the Bloomer Woodticks by a score of 9-4.
And I just got a score. The Beef River Bullfrogs are still playing.
And a swing and a miss, strike one
I will update
by Cole Timon.
I will update you as I get the update.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two.
He was going for the downs on that one, Rick.
Well, Gonzalez has got a ball that's moving late, and that's what's got these Cavaliers looking like they're swinging for a fastball, and it's got a little bit of motion late in the pitch, and that's why they're missing as badly as they are. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Cole Timon. Here's the pitch, outside.
So I have a score update. Going into the bottom of the 10th inning, the Rivermen are leading the Bullfrogs 8-7.
Okay. Ribbit. That's a Bullfrog cheer, by the way. Pitch is outside. 2-2 is the count.
I think I've seen 3-2.
You're right. It's 3-2. Ann's bifocals are better than mine. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. That's strikeout number 5 for Quentin Gonzalez since he's come in. Campbell Kapanke coming to the plate. He singled his last time up. He's 2 for 4 today. Single to right, single to left. Single to center sounds good to me. And foul back into the screen.
Yeah, Rick, as a Cavs fan, you're looking for some magic here. You got 2 outs. Hey, let's see what can happen here, Rick.
No balls and 1 strike. That's a called strike on the outside edge. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Cavs go down in the 11th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Okay, we've played 10 and a half. You know, it's getting late. It's past my bedtime. On the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Back here at Cinder City Park in Altoona. And we're still tied at 4.
Rick, I'll say one thing. My rookie broadcasting debut is going to be one memorable broadcasting debut.
Yeah, I don't know if we should be thankful you got to experience something like this or blame you for making us stay up so late and maybe you brought the extra innings on or something like that.
Rick, I think the fans are on my side.
Okay, we'll go with that.
So you're outnumbered there. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay. So we head to the bottom of the 11th inning, all tied at 4, and due up for the Bears is Todd Lasher, then Mitch Bendixson and Matt Miller.
And I'm looking down, Rick, in the Cavalier bullpen. They're down there, but there's no action. I think they're going to see what this guy can do. They're stretching, but nobody really appears to be throwing any balls down there.
First pitch is high for a ball.
So I think the Cavs are going to ride this guy as long as they can, and maybe if he gets a base runner on or something, maybe they'll start warming up down there, but as of now, nothing.
Well, he's throwing 3 1/3. There's a swing and a miss. And so we're reaching that area where Milner sometimes can start to struggle.
Rick, you're a mind reader. I was just going to ask you about that.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Not struggling right now, though.
These Cavs fans are urging him on, and it's nice to see everybody stuck around.
Well, who would leave on a game like this? Here's the wind and the pitch. Inside, counts even at 2-2 to Todd Lasher.
I think if you're the Cavs pitcher, I think you go right after him with the hard heat and try to strike him out.
0 for 3, Lasher is. He also drew a walk. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Rick, you can call me Nostradamus on that one.
That's going to bring up Mitch Bendixson, and Bendixson is 0 for 4. He did get on an error. Tried to lay down a sacrifice bunt, but ran on the wrong side of the foul line and then getting hit by a thrown ball and was called out. And in the process, the runner who had been on second was forced to go back to second because it was a dead ball. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch is inside for ball 2. Milner winds in the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike called on the inside corner. And a swing and a miss. Counts even at 2-2.
Rick, you like to see that. The pitcher bears down, and he's going after him, buddy.
And I think it's a final now from down in Strum. The Rivermen 8 and the Bullfrogs 7. And the pitch. That's high for ball 4. Bendixson represents the winning run for the Bears. Is on first, brings up Matt Miller. Miller is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. He struck out twice. And we're going to get a runner out there for Bendixson.
That's why, Rick, you have a deep bench, because you can have the luxury of having a pinch runner. That is exactly why it's nice to have a deep bench if you're a team. You know, not all teams have deep benches. It's nice to have a deep bench.
We do have a pinch runner, and I'm going to try and get you his name. Pitch is inside, throw down to first. And he's back in safe.
These guys are killing me.
Ryan Plotch is the runner down at first. Throw over to first, and he's back. Here's the pitch. Squares to bunt. And it missed for a ball. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the time for that double play, but he's squaring to bunt. He's showing bunt. He's not going to, though. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and a strike.
I'll tell you, if you're that third baseman, you better be ready, because you're playing right at the grass, and this guy can swing quick.
The pitch to Miller. Squares to bunt. Lays it down. Foul on the third base side.
That helps the Cavs. You got 2 outs. It basically takes away the bunt, and he's swinging away. The infielders can now go back to normal depth.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And it's fouled back into the screen, so no longer bunting. I'd have been surprised if he was.
But the third baseman's still playing up at the grass.
2 balls, 2 strikes. They're playing double play depth. A little bit low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on first. That's the winning run on first. Milner fires. High fly ball out into left field. Kapanke drifting back. He makes the catch.
Yeah, Rick, he got under that one, popped it way up. It was a great play by the left fielder. 2 outs.
And that's going to bring up Quentin Gonzalez, the pitcher.
We'll see if he can help his own cause here, Rick. My vote is no.
Well, let's just see Andrew Milner take care of business here.
You don't have to say that twice, Rick.
That one's in the dirt. It gets away from Timon, but nobody advances.
Great stop by the catcher. You like to see that.
He kind of smothered it and stayed right on top of it. They're starting to do a little bit of soft tossing down in the bullpen for the Cavs. Milner delivers. Ground ball over to short to Vance. Fires to first. He airmailed it, but Kapanke came down with it and got him.
It helps to have a tall first baseman, Rick.
Boy, oh boy, he just saved Vance again. We have fans over here that we might need to give some cardiac assistance to after that one. So, no runs on, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We've played 11, and we're still tied at 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside...
And we're back here at Cinder City Park. Jackson Vance leading off the 12th for the Cavs, and he follows it back into the screen.
Jackson Vance batting number 9 tonight, batting .238 on the season.
No balls and 1 strike to Vance. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner.
As a Cavs fan, you like this. You got your 9, 1, and 2 batters up.
Let's see 9 be a little productive right here. And the pitch is outside for a... No, they called it strike 3. So Vance goes down looking.
Looked like a good call, Rick.
I would agree. That's where his strike zone has been.
I mean, he's calling it both ways, Rick. I can't argue.
Oh, yeah, he's very consistent. Caden Erickson coming to the plate. Erickson is 2 for 5.
Erickson
and has scored a run. 3 for 5, I should say. And has scored a run. So he is our Geno's player of the game. And it's fouled out of play. Yeah.
Jackson coming in on the season hitting 3.
No, he caught it at the fence over there. It was just out of our view. And so Erickson is out. That brings up Josh Garcia. 2 down. And the pitch is high and away for a ball. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. This is what a game between the Bears and the Cavaliers should be like. Battling into extra innings. Crosstown rivals. And that's a strike called on the outside corner. And battling for a playoff spot. All tied at 4. 2 down, 1-2 count to Josh Garcia. Here's the pitch. Ground ball over to short, but it's a base hit. Too deep in the hole for them to make a play. So, Josh Garcia with his second hit of the night. Brings up Gabe O'Brien. O'Brien is due.
Right fielder, Gabe O'Brien.
He's 0 for 4 with a sacrifice fly. Here's the pitch. That's a strike called.
One in the dirt would be really nice right now, Rick.
One in his wheelhouse would even be better. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner goes to second, and he's in safely.
Oh, that's what they say about speed, Rick. Speed never goes in a slump.
No. You get him on base, and you can do things with him. 2 down. One on the grass could score a run here. Foul back. Oh, that made Ben dive out of the way. There's a big, heavy screen in front of us, Ben. I don't blame you.
If I wasn't awake before, Rick, I'm awake now.
Yeah, you probably saw the rollings on that ball as it was coming back, didn't you?
I did,
low
Rick.
and inside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gabe O'Brien. Here's the pitch. Pop up or ground ball, throw to first. And O'Brien beat it out. And runners at third.
And that right there, Rick, is why you hustle down the line at first.
And
if he
that's going to
hustle,
be
he's out.
That's going to be an infield hit.
First baseman, Cooper Kapanke.
You like to see that? All you young kids out there watching this broadcast, that's why you hustle.
So, Cooper Kapanke. Cooper is 0 for 5. He's due for something. There's a line shot out into the outfield. Cavs take the lead. Kapanke rounds first. He's heading to second. Here comes O'Brien around third, and he's going to come in and score. 8-2-run double by Cooper Kapanke.
And that, Rick, is right exactly what the doctor ordered. Thank you for your patience with me all day, Rick. I really appreciate it.
Boy, oh boy.
Ask and you shall receive, Rick.
Cavaliers take the lead 6-4.
Well, if you're the Cavs, I tell you what, it'd be nice to get this other runner in here, Rick.
And here's the pitch. Low and inside for a ball. Jack Redwine at the plate. Redwine doubled, and since then he flew to center, flew to right, popped to third, pitches outside, and struck out.
And, Rick, there is absolutely nobody down there in that Bears bullpen.
Yeah, I don't see anybody doing any work down there. Gonzalez struggling a little more this inning. Swung on and missed. Boy, oh boy, Jack Redwine wanted number 3 right there.
Yeah, Rick, I think he heard me when I said I want that runner to come in from second base.
And he was going to come in right behind him if he got a hold of that one. And swing and a miss, strike 2. Counts even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 in. And a runner on second in the person of Cooper Kapanke. Here's the pitch. Fouled up on the left side, out of play.
That foul ball brought to you by Trimstone Surfaces. You can find them on the web at trimstonesurfaces.com.
There's a pop-up foul out of play on the left side.
That's our ball brought to you by Polk Window Cleaning. Polk'sWindowCleaning.com on the web.
Gonzalez looks in and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But that'll do it for the Cavs in the 12th, but they pick up 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. We've played 11 and a half. We're going to go to the bottom of the 12th with the Cavaliers on top, 6-4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
All right, we head into the bottom of the 12th inning. Cavs on top, 6-4. And Grant Preston is at the plate. Hit a 2-run homer earlier this evening. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. That was in the 7th inning he hit that 2-run homer. Here's the pitch. High and away for a ball. And the pitch. That just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Andrew Milner on the mound looking to pick up his 3rd win of the season. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's going after him, Rick.
Now he means business. Here's the wind, and the 2-2 pitch swung on a miss, strike 3. So Grant Preston goes down swinging for the 3rd time tonight. That takes us back to the top of the order. Nate Kent coming to the plate. Kent struck out his last time up. He's also flown out to left, singled, and grounded to first and drew a walk. Strike called on the outside corner. So Kent, go ahead.
I don't need to remind anybody, Rick, we're at the top of the shop here. We need to get this guy and we need to get the next guy. These are very dangerous hitters.
And then the game's ours. Foul back, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Nate Kent. Here's the wind and the pitch. High and away, ball 1.
You know, it's nice to see these Cavs fans cheering on their team, urging this pitcher on. This guy is making me proud, Rick.
Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. That's high and inside. Counts even at 2-2. That was a curveball that kind of got away from him, I think.
Sometimes adrenaline is not a good thing, Rick.
Sometimes. Here's the wind and the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That's what you like to see, Rick. He went right at him and blew that fastball right by him. You like to see that, Rick.
Hunter Ginther coming to the plate.
Shortstop, Hunter Ginther.
Ginther struck out his last time up. Bear in mind, Ginther was the starting pitcher tonight, and the Cavs got him for 4 runs. Here's the wind and the pitch. Fouled off. Ginther, a former Cavalier, so it's appropriate that a new Cavalier this year, and Andrew Milner is pitching against a former Cavalier, Hunter Ginther. And the pitch inside for a ball.
I think if you're the pitcher, you just go after him, throw some heat, and just blow it by him, Rick.
You got 2 downs. We're in the bottom of the 12th. Cavs on top by 2. Here's foul ball off on the right side, out of play.
You know, it does you absolutely no good to get cute here as a pitcher. I think you just throw fastballs and make your defense do the work, Rick.
That's exactly right. He's going to, but that doesn't mean you don't throw a curveball now and then, because you got to be able to mix things up a little bit. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Cavaliers pull it out.
And on Ben Ryder's broadcasting debut, the Cavaliers come away with a 12-inning, 6-4 victory. Sam Ryder in heaven, this is for you, buddy.
Andrew Milner is the winning pitcher, taking his record to 3-2, and the loss goes to Quentin Gonzalez of the Bears. We'll have more detail about this when we get to talking baseball right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching NLWN-TV's presentation of Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Talkin' Baseball, with a look back at today's game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball, with a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game, presented by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. And now, back out to the ballpark.
We're back here at Cinder City Park, and the Cavaliers come away with a big win tonight by the score of 6-4 in 12 innings. And winning pitcher is Andrew Milner. He went 5 1/3 innings, struck out 9, and held the Bears to no runs. And that's after a pretty darn good pitching performance by Lucas Costley. Costley went 6 2/3 innings, and he gave up 4 runs, but only one of those runs was an earned run. And he allowed 7 hits and struck out 4 and walked 1. So all in all, a really good pitching performance for the Cavaliers tonight. Losing pitcher was Quentin Gonzalez. I don't have the hits total for tonight, but we'll get to that later. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are, you know, we talked about this all week long leading up to the game. You know, the Cavs just can't get over the hump. They try. And, you know, sports is a game of momentum and getting your confidence. And, you know, you got to go back to basics, Rick. You know, we bunted when we should have. We stole runners when we should have. Defensively, we did what we needed to do. Coaching was there tonight. Communication was there tonight. Everybody talked. It was a total team effort. You know,
and it was just the one bad inning, and it was kind of a rough inning. In fact, when I look back at it, I've got to find it here. There it is. It started off ominously, because it started off with an error on Jackson Vance at shortstop, and then we had the weird play where they tried to do the sacrifice bunt, and the runner's heading down the first baseline, the batter's heading down the first baseline, and Costley tries to throw it to first, hits the batter in the back, and he was on the wrong side of the line. So he's out. Runner has to go back to second. Then they did successfully do the sacrifice bunt. Matt Miller laid down a sacrifice bunt, moved the runner over to third, and then we got a base hit by Joel Zacco, which scored that first run. So you have Zacco on base, and then Grant Preston hit the 2-run home run, and it got things going. And run an ad for us real quick.
If I could be you, and you could be me, for for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
And back here at Cinder City Park, joining us now is Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister. Holy cow, that was a big win today.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, again, Bears good team. We played them 3 times this year, got 2 out of them, so that's good, you know. Saw some good pitching on their end, you know. We kept our composure through the game, all the way through it.
And they didn't.
And they did not. And it showed a little bit, but they were able to, you know, correct themselves, and they came back in this game and tied it. It would have been nice to get this done in, 9, but I was telling the guys, I said, this game tonight lasted shorter than the 7-inning game in La Crescent, so and we played 12 innings. So I mean,
you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, and that long ball by Grant really put a different flavor on, or Grant Preston put a little different flavor on the game. All of a sudden, we had a tight ball game, and it was a nail biter after that.
Yeah, we probably stretched Cossey out an inning too long. We should have brought Milner in. He was ready. But, Cossey wanted the ball, and that's what we're going to do for a guy like that. And he was a little under the weather tonight, too, so he threw like that under the weather. And, he just, at the end, it was just, that's about all he had in the tank. And Milner came in and did a great job with that.
That being said, Lucas Cosley gave a really nice performance tonight. I just mentioned this before the break. 6 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, but only 1 was an earned run.
Yep.
And he didn't have his usual strikeout numbers, but he only walked 1, so a nice performance. But Andrew Milner, holy cow, did he do a nice job of holding the Bears down. Yep. What was that, 5 1/3? And struck out 9.
Yep.
They didn't score.
Yep. He did a phenomenal job. He knew what his job was tonight. I texted him earlier today, and he's like, I got you, Coach. I know what I'm doing. He showed up, and we told him to go get ready. He got ready, and we told him to win the game. He won the game, and then he shut him down. I said, if you just keep shutting him down, we will get you a run, and we'll get you a win. So,
well, that was a really nice win for the Cavs. Beef River Bullfrogs tried really hard to do you guys a favor, and they came up a little bit short. So the Rivermen are still breathing down your heels, but that's all right. You move ahead of the Bears, and you get another shot at the Rivermen later. So.
Yep. Yeah, we got those guys on our sites. We got Bloomer coming up and stuff like that. We got a non-conference on Saturday. So we got some stuff we're going to work on. And a couple of guys struggled at the plate tonight, but they had good approaches at the plate, but just didn't have the finishes that they wanted.
There were a couple times when I saw Campbell, for example, barrel up the ball real nicely left field, and the left fielder didn't have to move more than a step.
No, they were. A lot of the guys were hitting the ball tonight. And like I said, we kind of put a different lineup in, and about 3 innings into the game, I got a couple of guys came up to me and said they really like the way this lineup looks. Just because we were able to spread it out, spread out the offense a little bit more and put some fast guys and guys that are going to execute jobs, put bunts down in positions where they can, which we played small ball for the first 4 innings, and it was beautiful.
Okay, now are you opening up a boating shop or something? Because if you are, please take the anchor off of Cole Timon so that he can make it to second on that what should have been a routine double. That was a great throw to get him.
It was a hell of a play. That center fielder had a great game. I mean, he had made 2 great plays out there, and then that ball that Cole hit, he hit so hard, the kid reacted to it, had the play on it. It bounced off the fence right into his glove, and he turned around and made a great throw. I mean, he
threw a strike to second, And so I'm being very facetious when I say that about Cole, because, and even at that, it was a really close play.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Definitely. And then Cavs got to turn around and return the favor with Gabe O'Brien's throw to second.
Yep.
And
we had a couple of good defensive plays out there too, so that was good.
So, well, congratulations, and we're going to do this again on Saturday.
Sounds like a plan for me.
All right. We'll be back to wrap up talking baseball right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Alvo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
And we're back here at Cinder City Park getting ready to wrap things up and talking baseball. Cavaliers come away with a 6-4 win in 12 innings over the Eau Claire Bears. Your thoughts?
Within 10 seconds or less, my thoughts are when the Cavs needed to make plays, they made them. And they executed the bunts perfectly. They executed stolen bases perfectly. They got the sacrifice fly balls. They did small ball, and they won.
And one of the things that I made a comment about in the dugout show is that we knew the Bears were going to come ready to play, and the Cavaliers were going to have to match or exceed that effort tonight. And in my book, they exceeded the effort. Well, they did by 2 runs, and they ended up winning the game 6-4. And so it was a good outing for the Cavaliers. Pretty good outing for the Bears also, but Cavaliers got the better end of it. Hey, don't forget to join us on Saturday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network's audio service and on NLWN-TV as we bring you the Cavaliers taking on the St. Louis Park Pirates from Carson Park, with coverage beginning at 4:30 p.m. with the In the Dugout show, followed by all the play-by-play action of that game. Also on Saturday, you're going to have to be flipping your channels back and forth here, because on Saturday, NLWN-2 is going to have exciting Eau Claire Cowboy football, and that game will be on Saturday when the Cowboys take on the River City Rough Riders in a battle for first place in the NLFL Northwest Division. Cowboy kickoff starts at 2:30 p.m. with a live play-by-play action following that one. I know Dan is going to be over there. Jay Fall will be there. Ann is going to be there helping out at that game. Well, Ben and I are over at Carson Park doing the Cavaliers game. The Eau Claire Cavaliers want to remind veterans of the United States military that they can get a lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games simply by coming to Carson Park with your veterans identification, and the Cavaliers will be very happy to issue you your lifetime pass. It's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service. Today's Geno's player of the game was Caden Erickson, and Caden did score a run in the 3rd inning. So therefore, when you go out to Geno's tomorrow, mention Caden's name and get a free appetizer for your table. That's at Geno's Pizza out by Action City. I want to remind you that today's Eau Claire Cavaliers baseball game is brought to you by Geno's Pizza, right next to Action City, near the intersection of Highways 93 and I-94. Midwest Environmental Consultants, lawn care and soil testing experts for Western Wisconsin. The Goat Coffee House at 336 Water Street for good coffee and great sandwiches. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. Mama Squirrels Cleaning and More, ready to get your house sparkling. Your Napa Auto Parts store at 3580 Mall Drive in Eau Claire. Slayton's Technology Service, the official IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And Royal Credit Union, where they're different in a good way. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So for Ben Ryder and Ann Monroe on the computer, Dan Petschow on the camera, this is Rick Olson. Final score once again, Cavaliers 6 and the Eau Claire Bears 4 in 12 innings. And you've been tuned to Talkin' Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching Talkin' Baseball, a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a production of NLWN-TV.